when thou comest into thy kingdom. Remember me, Lord. Remember me, Lord. Remember me, Lord. Remember me, Lord, when thou comest into thy kingdom. Remember me, Lord. Remember me, Lord. Remember me, Lord, when thou comest into thy kingdom. Jesus no be left and so. Jesus no be left and so. When you work for God, loss is no day. When you dance for God, oh, sickness go. I say when you give to God, popoli popo. That day Jesus turned to the thief man and tell and say, today thou shalt be with me. Today thou shalt be with me. Today thou shalt be with me in paradise. Today, oh, today thou shalt be with me. Today thou shalt be with me. Today thou shalt be with me in paradise. Abamadilewe, 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 oh Yesu mabla tiwa, tiwa. Abamadilewe, 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 oh Yesu mabla tiwa. Abamadilewe, 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 oh Yesu mabla tiwa. I went to the rock to hide myself, and the rock I find no hiding place. No hiding place down there, down there, down there. No hiding place down there. No hiding place down there. I went to the rock to hide myself, and the rock I find no hiding place. No hiding place down there. The things I used to do, I do them no more. The things I used to do, I do them no more. The things I used to do, I do them no more. It was a glad day when I was born again. It's a wonder to see Jesus turned water into wine. I hear the master say, come and dine. Come and dine, come and dine. You'll be sitting at the table all the time. It's a wonder to see Jesus turned water into wine. I hear the master say, come and dine. Today na me own day, na me own day. I will bless thee, I will bless the Lord. I will bless thee, I will bless the Lord. I will bless thee, I will bless the Lord. I will bless the Lord. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. The Lord is good. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. He has done me well. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. I will bless thee, I will bless the Lord. Ay, 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 ay. 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 Awo, 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 awo. Inside Jesus, me unde. Inside Jesus, me unde. Brother, inside Jesus, you unde. Inside Jesus, me unde. Sister, inside Jesus, you blessing day. Inside Jesus, me unde. Yo, 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 me ambe. Me ambe. Me sola kanuna. Me sola kanuna. Me ambe. Me sola kanuna. Me sola kanuna. Me ambe. Me sola kanuna. Me sola kanuna. Me ambe. Tina, Tina, ayande. Tina, Tina, ayande. Tina, 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 ayande. Tina, Tina, ayande. Tina, 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 ayande. Tina, Tina, ayande. Tina. Tomorrow, tomorrow, what will you say? Tomorrow, tomorrow, what will you say? Tomorrow, on the judgment day, what will you say? Tomorrow, tomorrow, what will you say? Tomorrow, Tina, Tina, ayande. Tina, Tina, ayande. want to go, I want to go, I want to go to the battlefield. Give me the ammunition, I want to go to the battlefield. Give me, give me, give me, give me, give me, yeah, give me. Give me the ammunition, I want to go to the battlefield. Give me, give me, give me, give me, give me, Papa, give me, yeah. Give me the ammunition, I want to go to the battlefield. Oh Lord, come down, come and
a refreshing day. Listen to Epic Radio. So refreshing.
Good morning and welcome to again the last edition of the Epic Morning Show for the week. We will review the biggest international stories of the week. This week, we're discussing exclusively the attacks in Kashmir, India and Pakistan, and this will lead to a diplomatic dispute between India and Pakistan. President Donald Trump called out President Vladimir Putin. He said Vladimir Putin not ready for peace, together with the Ukrainian leader Vladimir Zelensky. Also, this week, let's follow at Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. The Ghanaian President John Dramani Mahama say Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, they think the decision for rejoining ECOWAS again. All of these stories and more today. Are you Epic Morning Show? Just 2 days to go ahead of Independence Day. Sierra Leoneans, many thousand Sierra Leoneans, to get towards Independence Day, both in Sierra Leone here and in the diaspora. I mean, we've seen Sierra Leoneans on social media already setting the pace for everybody. People will celebrate, people they showcase the rich heritage and beauty and uniqueness of the country, Sierra Leone, in the west coast of Africa. They get towards 64th year since we gained independence from the British monarch. Now, as we move towards Independence Day, we all know, yes, the government gets responsibilities, but we also, as citizens, we get our own set of responsibilities them where we for adhere to. One of them, respecting leadership, respecting the president. I mean, also respecting government, protecting, government properties. I mean, Sierra Leoneans, many will tell you, it's not mine. I mean, if they see something when a government property, protecting it for many Sierra Leoneans, I know, not to an utmost responsibility, as according to them. It is everybody's responsibility, I'll tell you, to respect leaders and protect government properties, because again, it is because of us. I mean, now we all get for use as time progresses. So it is the utmost responsibility of every Sierra Leonean as we they get towards the 64th year since gaining independence, for respect government properties, respect leaders of this country. Also, I mean, we just see 2 days ago, we're in Freetown. We see rubber bottles, them fill the streets of central Freetown. I mean, many people were blaming the city council for it, but part of the responsibility, part of the problem is the ordinary Sierra Leoneans, where they seemingly care less about throwing rubbers in the streets. I mean, if you throw a rubber or throw any sort of plastic at the gutters, where in all of that gets for you get to see a downpour of now the streets of Freetown, where we not go once for happen. I mean, we happen, it cause lots of diseases. Many people they fall sick because of this. So it is your responsibility. I mean, if you want to see a clean Sierra Leone, a healthy Sierra Leone, just 2 months ago we see the country of Cape Verde, the World Health Organization declared malaria free. If we want to be malaria free, we want to get a healthy country, it is our utmost responsibility to help governments, to help authorities in ensuring that we have the best country, as we always say, in the world. So as we declare towards Independence Day, let me not forget for live up to responsibilities as Sierra Leoneans. If you want to see this country go before, now that's the morning message today from Bulem. This is the Epic Morning Show.
No matter who you be, let me make salon and a big. No look so you follow, no follow. Who say you go the foot and a big. No matter how you go, let me make salon and a big. No look so you follow, no follow. Who say you go the foot and a big. Salon the well, yes not true, but make no left us so. If you never so, tell me who say we the go. We all know say we all tell of the past. Then we may come for the picking and hold the bomb. Hey, no matter who you be, let me make some and a big. No look say you follow, no follow. Who say you go to foot and a big. No matter how you go, let me make some and a big. No look say you follow, no follow. Who say you go to foot and a big.
You dey look for the best betting experience? Register with 1xBet today and enjoy 200% bonus on your first deposit to 2,300 new leones. Yes, double your money right from the start. Go inside 1x game for fine casino games, card game, and boku other thing them. All them 1 year design for make you enjoy and win big. Or you can bet on sports events them like football, basketball, tennis, and boku other one them with live updates and competition odds for give strength to the game. It easy for start. Register by phone or complete your registration with valid ID card. But not forget for screenshot your account for use them later. Deposit and withdraw your winning with collage. We use Orange Money, Afri Money, 1xBet Cash, MasterCard or Visa Card. 1xBet are the official sponsor for La Liga, Serie A, League One, and the Confederation of African Football. So no now say you don't have good hand. Join 1xBet today and join the winning journey. But remember say you need for bet responsibly. 1xBet, your world of betting.
Me man, you no go believe this. Orange Money cash out fee don't count on to only 1% for any amount you cash out.
Young lady, now true say Orange Money.
Epic Radio 99.3. It's so refreshing.
Just 1% of the amount where you want for cash out.
So if I cash out 1,000 leons, now 10 leon no more they pay?
Exactly. 10 leons for 1,000 leons.
So me picking, if I cash out 100 leons, now 1 leon they pay?
Yes ma. Just 1 leon for 100 leons.
Wait ma, if I pull 50 leons, that now only 5 cents that they pay?
Now you don't talk so.
Wow, this one fool me much. I know one day here is such low fee. Orange Money don't make things easy for we all.
Now, cash out for only 1% of the amount with the widest agent network, NASA alone. Now the cheapest cash out fee. No more stress, no more high fees. Just easy transaction. Orange Money, they any outside you go.
Welcome back to your Epic Morning Show on Epic Radio 99.3 FM, Slick TV on channel 37, Radio Garden Choice FM on Facebook and on the website at www.myepiconline.com. You watch and listen international affairs on your favorite radio station, and as we view the biggest international stories of the week, here's Fatima Muhammad with the latest world news for you now.
The latest world news on your Epic Morning Show. I am Fatima Mohammed. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has abruptly ended his historic diplomatic visit to South Africa following a Russian missile strike that killed at least 9 people in Kyiv. Zelensky announced he would return to Ukraine immediately after meeting with President Cyril Ramaphosa in Pretoria. His visit comes amid South Africa's evolving stance on the Russia-Ukraine war. The country recently supported a UN resolution condemning Russia's invasion, marking a shift from its earlier non-aligned position. Zelensky's outreach in Africa is part of a broader effort to counter Russian influence and strengthen Ukraine's global alliances. Ghanaian President John Mahama is facing backlash following the suspension of Chief Justice Gertrude Torkornoo. The move is unprecedented in Ghana's history, has sparked concern over judicial independence. Though the suspension is said to be a procedural step during an ongoing investigation, critics, including the former Attorney General, view it as an attempt to undermine the judiciary. Justice Torkornoo has not yet responded publicly. The United Nations World Food Programme (WFP) has warned of a severe hunger crisis in Ethiopia, with food aid for 3.6 million people at risk of being cut unless urgent funding is secured. Over 10 million Ethiopians are currently facing acute food insecurity, including 3 million displaced by conflict and extreme weather. WFP says it needs $22 million by September to maintain operations, as resources are nearly exhausted and many refugees are already receiving only 60% of their daily rations. Burkina Faso's military junta says it has obstructed a major plot, allegedly orchestrated from neighboring Ivory Coast, to destabilize the country. While Ivorian officials have not yet commented, the junta often accuses the Ivory Coast for harboring its opponents. The military has ruled Burkina Faso since a 2022 coup led by Captain Ibrahim Traoré. Despite pledges to restore security, the regime has faced criticism for silencing dissent and increasing human rights violations, including extrajudicial arrests. Interpol has rescued 33 West Africans who were victims of human trafficking operation in Ivory Coast. Lured with false promises of jobs in Canada, victims paid up to $9,000 to traffickers and were forced to stage fake social media posts in luxury settings. The operation was undercover after a concerned parent alerted Ghanaian authorities. Victims are from Benin, Burkina Faso, Togo, and Ghana. Raids were conducted in February by Ivorian and Ghanaian forces. 18 African cardinals will be among the 135 eligible to vote in the upcoming conclave to elect the next pope. Though Europe holds the most cardinal electors, Africa is gaining influence with prominent figures such as Fridolin Besungu from Congo, Ignace Dogo from Ivory Coast, and Peter Turkson from Ghana. Other cardinals from Kenya, Nigeria, Rwanda, South Sudan, and more will also participate, highlighting the continent's growing presence in the global Catholic Church. The United Nations has described Gaza as enduring the war's worst humanitarian crisis, as Israel maintained an 8-week blockade on aid, food, and medicines. Continued airstrikes have killed at least 13 people, including women, children, in recent attacks on homes and shelters. Among the casualties were children in tents near Nuseirat and a family in Gaza City. The ongoing siege has drawn global concern over its devastating impacts on civilians. U.S. President Donald Trump has hinted a reducing tariff on China, but says the timing will depend on negotiations. Speaking from the White House, Trump indicated new tariff rates could be announced soon, impacting new multiple trade partners. His remark came as U.S. markets rallied on optimism that the trade tension between Washington and Beijing could soon ease, potentially ending a prolonged economic standoff.
Now introducing Edward Eskimo, we are a public relations expert, student leader, and a political analyst. Good morning, Edward.
Good morning, and thanks for having me.
So, Edward, we'll start first off with the latest political tensions which happen right now between President Putin and Donald Trump. I mean, for the very first time, in a rare public move, President Donald Trump actually called out President Putin, say President Putin for stop the latest attacks on the Ukrainian capital, Kiev. I mean, this celebrities say on Truth social platform, say, I'm not happy with the Russian strikes on Kiev, not necessary, and very bad timing. Vladimir, stop. 5,000 soldiers a week are dying. Let's get the peace deal done. He also said this, I want to play you now. President Trump also said this in the Oval Office with regards to the ceasefire negotiations and Russia's attacks on Ukraine.
Considering new sanctions on Russia?
So we are thinking that very strongly that they both want peace, but they have to get to the table. We're waiting a long time. They have to get them to the table, and I think we're going to get peace. We want to save 5,000 young people. I used to say 2,500. I now say 5,000. We have, Mr. Prime Minister, we have about 5,000 young people a week that are dying in that ridiculous war. And, I started out because I didn't like all the money that we were paying, and then I realized how many people were dying, and that's by far the more important element right now. I'm saying we can save thousands of people, and I don't like that it takes long at all, but I think they both want to make peace. I do believe so. There's a lot of hatred there. There's a lot of very bad blood, a lot of distrust, but I think I hope we're going to get there for the sake of a lot of young people that are dying. And I think everybody at this time in NATO, they want to see this thing happen. So we have a deadline, and after that we're going to have a very much different attitude. But I think it has a very good chance of getting done.
Okay, in response, this WT, the Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky says last night's attacks on Ukraine was undoubtedly one of the most difficult and imprudent. And the Russian Foreign Defense Ministry of Defense, I beg your pardon, said the targets of the strikes have been achieved on the Ukrainian capital. All of the facilities have been struck, according to the Russian Ministry of Defense there. I'll return to you, Edward. Edward, what do you make of this latest President Trump calling out President Putin?
Well, basically, I think, when it comes to leadership, you look at the U.S. as the #1 person for the world leadership. And looking at Trump in discussion over the past months with Zelensky in the Oval Office, he was very blunt and very clear that Zelensky did provoke a third world war. And
is that the case for
yes.
you? Is that the case for you?
Yes. Also calling out Putin.
I mean, you think what Trump claimed there, say President Zelensky of Ukraine, they provoke a third world war. You think that's not also your standpoint?
Of course, because if you're coming in, it come always for demand for weapon, demand for support, and there is no clear guideline as to how one for get peace. It simply means that you are just focusing on the war and not peace. So calling out again Putin for able to stop this particular attack on Kiev, I think now a way for bring the two leaders them come on board and say, look, we are not supporting each other side. Which we stand for, we won't forget a lasting peace. And doing in campaign, these are some of the promises that we make, that from day one, when take up office, and then show a call out the two leaders and call for lasting peace in Kiev.
They say they end the war on day one.
Yes, well, it's challenging. It may seem that way, but it's somehow challenging. Of course, Russia getting demands them, and of course, Ukraine self get your own demands. The way each side get for looking to the peace talk we currently they go on England. Of course, then call the two nations them. Each of them
a peace talk will be say the U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and I think it's the Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
Yeah,
we skip the peace talks. We say America for their part of we make them before scale back.
Yes, well, then come up with technical issues and other concerns them as well. But then when you look at the general peace talk, it's somehow difficult as it appear for be.
Is it not President Putin here making these peace talks difficult? I mean, it called for Ukraine for concede some of the territories already occupied by Russia in the east.
Well, Putin is a very smart guy, I would say. He look at in objectives, of course, in number one objective from the one for invade Ukraine. Of course, he no achieve them, but there are a lot of things where he do achieve. He get 4 regions currently under in control, where according to some media analysts, them are like 20% of Ukrainian soil. Where that's a huge stride for him. And his economy is also doing well.
President Trump also say Ukraine Ukraine for concede some of the territories if we talk about peace between the two countries.
Yeah, sure. That Ukraine no one for let go of any of them territories then. And of course there are certain territories where Russia self not ready for withdraw, they're not ready for left them. So it's kind of oxymoronic for it come to the actual picture of when peace could come, because the demands them very difficult. Ukraine want for attach, he want NATO membership. He also want for get security from US. Of course, Russia self want for get Crimea and some other regions them under them. They also want for get a complete ceasefire, where a very difficult at the moment. But with the intervention of US and some other European nations, I believe they will come at a particular point where everybody will see peace. Of course, we listen to the President Trump where they talk about the death of almost over 5,000 military personnel weekly.
Not an official number, just
make up. Yes. But you look at that, I think each nations, both of the nations, and therefore reason out now. But think there is no fast way for end this war, and there are certain demands where it no go reach. So we need to come together and actually solve certain things.
Edward, this just comes just a week after the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio say the U.S. will pull out from the peace talks in Ukraine if they don't see a headway for bring about a ceasefire. And also President Trump, they say Ukraine need for concede some territories already occupied by Russia in the east of the country, like for example Mariupol and the second largest city of Kharkiv, parts of the second largest city of Kharkiv, right. And also the Zaporizhia region where Russia already occupied parts of, including the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant, Europe's largest nuclear power plant. This, many may say, these are just Ukraine. Okay, Ukraine accept defeat, and Russia just take more parts of Ukraine. Russia become more victorious. I mean, the other time, President Trump say they look forward to receiving President Putin, welcoming him at the White House.
Well, that's it. That makes the whole thing very difficult, because when you look at the gains the way Russia don't get into Ukraine, and you see them demands them, I don't think for the past 3 years that has been the real conflict as to would I get for go, would I get for withdraw of this, and would I get for withdraw of this. The Ukrainians, they're not ready for go of any of the territories them, as well as the Russians them. Of course, they get them demands them very clear. So that's don't become very difficult, and that's don't make even the global partners the way they call for peace, EU and that of the UN and that of America, don't they find them very difficult. Of course, Trump don't try for psych, I will say, put Zelensky way na the strongest ally, for tell them the outright truth, say, look, we're not going to give you weapon, we're not going to give you money, always and always. We need to get peace. We need to get peace. But with the EU, well, then they say, we're coming in, we're going to stand up for Ukraine, we are going to fight for Ukraine, we are going to this. But of late, you see the EU and some other EU nations then they move faintly away from that and try for set up the homeland security and try for adjust them, then security measures them at their homes them. So I think Ukraine should be wise enough as timely as this for let them able for come to the negotiation table and strike a peace talk.
So, but the Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky say for identify as in Crimea, where Russia will occupy since 2014 as as Russian territory. Now a red line where, according to them, they against the Ukrainian constitution. That's for them a red line. It unlikely see them go recognize say Crimea is part of Russia and other parts of the Ukrainian country. So now President Trump say gets for recognize Crimea as part of Russia. I think say that now the best way for her towards a ceasefire.
Well, actually, there is no. It's going to be a win-win situation, even though they are certain side in the way then get for sacrifice because they want peace. They want a lasting peace. Look at the impact of the war. Over thousands of people and all lost their lives. Then, if they want peace, they actually get for come to a point for make certain sacrifices. Of course, from the beginning of the invasion, Russia was very clear about Crimea that they want to forget that region there and they want to forget under the Russian territory. So if this could be one of the ways for lead to peace, I think say it could be more reasonable for let the Ukrainian government forget about that particular region there. But it's not as simple as saying it. Then, I mean, you get that nationalistic view this as this is our land, this is part of us, this is for us. We're not going to leave it for anyone. So now that makes the thing very difficult and easy for resolve at the moment.
Okay, but you think Russia wants peace?
Well, Russia wants peace. Of course, Russia from the beginning they say they want to demilitarize Ukraine and get certain demands away. They not be actually want for listen to anybody until those demands or until those objectives are achieved. But for the past 3 years, the obstacles and the challenges during the battlefield, I think say them backdoor reason out say there are certain things where we not go able to achieve. Let's come to the drawing board. Let's see what is there. If there is a way for peace, then we can be able to talk out peace.
Edward, please put your feet in the shoes of Ukraine for a moment here. You're kind of a weak country. The border almost entirely with another country,
right?
With a nuclear-armed country, very powerful militarized country,
right?
We hate you country, if I may, at any time can invade, just like we'll see like in 2014 and what happened in 2022 in February. Russia invaded Ukraine, and you know things say the right path as a country for make sure say we secure we land, we secure we people them. We need for be involved into a military alliance like NATO and the European Union for make sure say we are secured. You know things say Ukraine, the argument here, which did it stand for a rightful.
Well, if you look at from an emotional perspective or from a nationalistic perspective, you could think, say, well, yes, it is good for Ukraine to fight for their rights. It is good for them to stand up for their land. But when you look at from the realist perspective, what is there to gain? I mean, after 3 years, citizens then we get that land, then they die. A lot of people then they lost their lives then. Can you as a leader or as a nation continue to stand up for the land or for the citizens, and the citizens you're standing up for, then they lose their life daily? So it's some kind of how you want to look at them. It's a perspective-based decision where the leaders them need for actually look into whether we're going to come from a realist perspective or we're going to come from the emotional perspective. Say this now we learn, and nobody want to give up for in land, nobody want to give up for in this, because trust me, without the US and without EU, it will be very difficult for Ukraine even succeed in this war. And if they not succeed, at the end of the day, they not go there at the negotiation table, waiting them go day under and for accept anything we Russia go and forgive them at that particular point. But now that the EU, they behind them, they back up them, and UN, they back up them, and of course, America no 100% left their 8, they still get an opportunity for like try for get a negotiation and get certain things and lose certain things.
Okay, we'll move ahead now to the latest tensions between India and Pakistan. Now, on Monday this week, India-administered Kashmir was a bustling tourist destination. Today, it is a ghost town. Suspected rebels killed at least 26 people on Tuesday in a picturesque tourist resort in the deadliest such attacks in 24 years in India-administered Kashmir, raising fears of an escalation in India-Pakistan tension. tensions. The Resistance Front, TRF, a title-known armed group that emerged in the region in 2019, claimed responsibility for the attacks. In recent years, armed rebels who are demanding Kashmir's sections from India have largely spared tourists from the attacks. Tuesday's killing have changed that. Along the Kaida River, which winds through the picturesque valley, all the hotels have been closed in Kashmir and all the shops have stand shuttered. The town, which draws millions of visitors each year, has emptied almost overnight. So India and Pakistan, there is tension between India and Pakistan now. India they don't order the Pakistani nationals in the country for leave in the next 2 weeks. The Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi say the attackers them get for pay the price. He also accused the Pakistani government of being behind such attacks. Edward, your opinion on this latest step?
Well, basically the conflict or the current development between India and that of Pakistan is something we alarming at the Asian region. Of course, you see India is a nuclear nation and that of Pakistan as well.
Yeah.
So when then two countries and they come up with issues like that, it's very difficult. And just after the attack, you see the Prime Minister Modi making very clear that they will ensure that they go after anybody we directly responsible for this attack, and of course then ensure that they pay in full price. But then the Pakistani government don't make them very clear that they are not responsible for this. And you look at that region, there are separatist group in that region. We don't come out clearly say now they're responsible for the attack and this and that. And of course the Pakistani government don't make them clear. But the Indians believe say the separatist groups were directly supported by Pakistan. And of course, they don't put certain measures them in place for draw some of them, staff them from Pakistani embassy, and then ask the Pakistani government for do as well. And then the water sharing treaty where you a World Bank be negotiate between them and don't restrict them as well. So a lot of measures are coming up.
Yeah.
And the Indian government don't promise in full force that they are going to ensure that anybody with the behind this attack will then directly they point fingers at Pakistan for pay in full price. So that's another security threat in that particular region.
So Prime Minister Narendra Modi say they go hunt the gunmen to the end of the earth. Because they also accused the Pakistani government of Shahbaz Sharif for support these separatist groups. You think that this could lead to military actions taken by India with regards to the Kashmir tensions?
Well, it will likely lead to that because of recent we see India they do some military exercise them, and that's now for sending a very strong warning and a very strong signal to Pakistan that this time around India is ready and they are willing to fight for the redemption of that particular region. I think saying now something we India done over the years, done the suffer the Kashmir region, don't they get them kind ongoing attacks and they want to give a final stop to that. But the question is who is going to be at the firing line? Because the Indian government were very clear for directly point fingers at Pakistan. Is it that they are going to directly attack Pakistan or they are going to attack the separatist groups? But when you look at the directives and the decisions the way the Indian government they take so far, it directly they go to Pakistan. Some of the agreements, some of the trade deals, and all of them things, and they directly they go at Pakistan. So that now for tell you say any military action we perhaps India might consider go directly also get for go at Pakistan as well.
I mean, these are two nuclear armed countries.
Countries, just imagine. So it's just another security threat around the world.
Okay, so if all of this continue, waiting gets for happen for the many million Indians and Pakistanis who depend on trade between the two countries for survival.
Well, basically the outcome is not economically friendly. It's not socially friendly. I mean, these now two countries we don't only get a huge bilateral relationship for the past years, knowing that this kind of security tension don't rise up. It's very concerning, and of course, livelihood could be affected. Not just lives will be lost if there is any military action, but livelihood could be affected, and the bilateral relation between the two countries, and they could be affected as well. So I think it's high time for let them able for come together and deal with then sensitive issues, then they not burst into any kind of military conflict.
But what do you make of this latest ceasefire talks happening in the Qatari capital, Doha, for ending the conflict between the DRC government of Philip Tshisekedi and the Rwanda-backed M23 rebels, and say the government in the DRC say this is not a constructive dialogue and don't take the first step we will lead to a permanent ceasefire between the two M23 and the government of the DRC. If this effort by Qatar, mediated by Qatar, if it continue, things we could get ceasefire, permanent ceasefire in Eastern DRC.
Well, except otherwise, but if you look at the peace deals then within the DRC Congo and that of the M23 group, military group, you would think, say, from 2021 to this year, they don't get over 6 peace agreements the way none of them not stand. But I think, say, when you look at the global trend and you look at President Trump's interest in Congo, I think they don't make them very clear that he want to get some mineral deal with Congo.
You want to get a slice of Ukraine's minerals in Congo too.
Of
now
course,
Congo added.
Of course. So if you think, say, I mean, the coming in of that kind of business, and US coming into the central stage where they want to do business with DRC, and Qatar they count in negotiation between the two groups, I think, say, perhaps it may lead to something serious, because this is US coming in. So that could actually get a pathway for make the peace lasting, because of the US interest in the country and the mineral resource system. But looking at the past record, where they don't get several peace agreements, the way they no be the find out very well, it no be the end of very well. Very difficult for determine say this could be a successful one. Of course, the M23 group, then the citizens them, especially the eastern region of DRC, don't they see them as some kind of a political military group we get for come save them and all of them things in there. And you can imagine when citizens start for attach them kind of feelings them to a particular group, how it can spark out of hand. And we also look at which are the demands them, because that's the most important thing in any peace negotiation. Which are the demands that we the M23 group get for put forward to the DRC government at the end of the day. Which are the things them? Is the DRC government going to agree on some of those things? When they agree, of course, we don't know the demands they meet, we don't know the needs they meet, but at least if they put them forward, then we'll be able to determine, say, well, this will lead to a lasting peace, or this will not lead to a lasting peace. But so far, with US interest, say they want to do business, and we all know within that only mean. I think, say, that's a very good way for let this peace be lasting, where Qatar is strike.
But Edward, in the initial days of the conflict in Sudan between the paramilitary rapid support forces and the army, I mean, the mediation for ceasefire will happen outside of Africa.
Sure.
In the Saudi city of Jeddah. We also see conflict in Africa being settled out of Africa.
Sure.
You think, say, the African Union here has failed to secure for make sure, say, the responsibility for ensure peace in Africa, then at the continent? You think, say, they fail in that aspect?
Well, the problem is tossed. The problem is with African Union and so many African countries is tossed. So many African leaders and just believe, say, yes, the African Union is a toothless bulldog, or then they come with instructions given to them by colonial masters, and some of the instructions, then they, at the end of the day, they not can be friendly to those hosted countries. So then prefer outside sources then for actually come into play for discuss some of the peace resolutions that we then want for get at the end of the day. Of course, AU don't do very well over time, but it's very challenging when it comes to peace negotiations and the trust way some African countries and actually get into some of them African organizations as well.
But Just months ago, now we celebrate, people they celebrate the election of Mahmoud Ali Yusuf as president of the African Union.
Sure.
Again to the question, you think the African Union has failed in its core mandates for mediate conflict in Africa?
It has to a large extent. Looking at the ongoing conflicts in Africa and the potential rise in conflict among nations and within nations in Africa, and the role of African Union generally, it's somehow limited when it comes to some of those conflicts them they way for lead to the resolution. Given a case study now, the way we talk about, it's very difficult for let's see African Union they come to a central stage for like take actual decisions then we go able for lead to a lasting peace. Some of the resolutions there or some of the decisions that we then will end up for take now, perhaps maybe for ceasefire and for ensure say they invite international bodies them for also come. But at least as an African organization, we for be obliged with the responsibility and for get that kind of trust within the member states them for able for resolve your own conflict. But within they go on in Africa and within potentially they go on, I think say to a large extent African Union on the lack on the mandates them upon which it was established.
Okay, this fresh efforts by the Ghana's new leader John Dramani Mahama for bring back Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger to the West African regional bloc ECOWAS during a meeting which happened in the Ghanaian capital Accra. The Ghanaian leader said the recent decision by Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger to withdraw from ECOWAS is a regrettable development. Now, you think the influence of Ghana will actually make sure say go low Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger for rejoin ECOWAS again?
Right, sure. It go actually lead to that because the three military-led nations there actually withdraw because of trust issues there and because of threat from ECOWAS say then go send troops them and all of that for stabilize the regions then if then people hand over to civilian government them and all. So then decide for withdraw back, and that is why when you look at the meeting where John Mahama gets with the Burkina Faso military leader, a focus on broken trust that those military nations actually no get trust in ECOWAS anymore, and as a result of that then decide say anywhere trust is not fine for like day. But like John Mahama coming into the picture and then focusing on trust and ensuring and give them military-led nations, and they say, all right, we know that this might be ABC mistake where ECOWAS don't take, but we also not fail for acknowledge that you guys are part of ECOWAS and do not key players them, especially when it comes to economy and that of the social aspect of the West African region. One of the key players there. But let's come together again and let we able for see who say we get them wrong, who say the issues them, and then we able to address them. I think say now a huge one way then military-led nations they ready for receive and also listen if their demands are need. Of course, trust now the key issue we make then come out for them. The ECOWAS now like a voice of the colonial master, then they listen more to the colonial master instruction against the military-led nations them they, which is why you see in Niger immediately after we ECOWAS say they go into
some people might ask, I mean, why ECOWAS and the AU not for listening to the West? I mean, a huge portion of African Union and ECOWAS them funding they come out from international partners, the European Union, America, for example.
Well, it's basically kind of difficult. They say would I feed you now the guide the conviction? Would I feed you now they tell you waiting and waiting for do? Of course, if you go against it, the repercussions them. But then we get to look at the core values, the core objective as to why those organizations were actually established. For example, ECOWAS now for ensure say we get economic cooperation and integration among West African nations them, and of course AU as well for ensure say they stabilize and build that kind of Africa where it could be a very strong continent. The need for focus more on then objective and just move away for listening to whether they give them money or whether they fund them. I think say it's it's time for Africa to take that particular decision for able for address we own issues them, for able for stand up for we own them, regardless of whether they give we money or whether not they give we money. Yes, we might need resources, we might need support from outside sources, but then mixing the help with that of your objective, I think saying administrative abnormality way it will affect the organizations that we particularly get for the West Africa and Africa as a whole. They need for stand up for their objectives, they need for stand up for them core mandates them, which is why you see today a lot of countries then they actually lost trust in their organizations, and they some of the political analysts and media analysts then they refer to them as toothless bulldog. Then just the normal, it's like a big dog. We get a big name, but without little or no action, we actually impact to in people them. So I think say ECOWAS and that of African Union need for come back to the drawing board and look at their objective of establishment.
Okay, so the Senegalese president Bassirou Diomaye Faye, we ECOWAS be tasked with the responsibility for mediate for between Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger for rejoin ECOWAS again. He said earlier this week he don't do everything possible for bring back the three Sahel countries them for rejoin ECOWAS again. And now President John Mahama say we took office in January and that we prioritize diplomatic engagement with the Sahel neighbors. I mean, President Mahama we don't visit the three countries,
sure,
Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger earlier this year. You think say this highly likely or unlikely for make these countries then go rejoin? I mean, it was just 2 weeks ago where the AES Alliance of Sahel States where they don't form.
Sure,
don't begin for collect task, and they collect 0.2% task for other countries then where they import into the three blocks. Countries.
Sure. Well, basically, I think say the three countries then go willing for comeback.
If
then go willing for comeback if then gets that kind of a trust. But the already established organization, I think say they not go left from just so now. And one thing we need for actually know now the fact that then people and they actually need for get them political security. They need for all of them military leaders them then come into power with objective, then come into power with reasons. We virtually the ECOWAS and some other global stage players they no one for understand and focus on democracy, the rule of law, and that of accountability and all of that. But then if then actually come on the drawing board for listen to the concern of them people and they, I think say now a right time for look into them and then come back to the drawing board. They are willing, they are ready, just that they are looking into one or two issues that win our security issues, the one or two issues that win our trust issues them, one or two issues that we go make them feel say irrespective of our current status, either military or non-military status, we countries and respected and acknowledged and then get that kind of position within the always they get na ECOWAS. So if John Mahama they actually send that kind of a message by not just talking about it in the media but individually visiting those countries, I think say that a stepping stone for let them self reason out say this man is not just talking but the back up put it, the talk with action, knowing that he don't see the problems that we make we exit this particular organization. Yes.
So I go read this article, I go read this article from Reuters news agency that say Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency is ending the work of a U.S. aid agency launched by Republican former President George W. Bush to reduce poverty and promote economic growth around the world, according to a recent recording of a staff meeting and an email to staff seen by Reuters. The move to shut down the Millennium Challenge Corporation, MCC, comes as part of an unprecedented push by President Donald Trump and his billionaire advisor Elon Musk to shrink the federal government, saying that U.S. taxpayers' money is being misspent. The Reuters say MCC staff were told in a meeting on Wednesday that all of the agency's programs will be closed and staff numbers will be minimized, according to a recording of the meeting. Its officials from DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, run by Elon Musk, arrived at the agency last week and entered talks with the leadership who were attempting to save the agency The MCC did not respond to the email requesting for comments. Trump's administration has already dismantled Washington's main aid agency, USAID, which administered about $40 billion in aid annually. The MCC, which was created by the US Congress with support from Republican and Democrats in 2004, has an annual budget of about $900 million. It partners with developing countries on projects like improving electricity supply for businesses and improving roads for farmers to get their goods to the markets. And say an MCC employee told the Reuters news agency all the agency's work has been ordered halted apart from a small number of active construction projects, including a wastewater treatment plant in Mongolia, electrical power grids in Senegal and Nepal, and schools in Ivory Coast. So we will expect to receive $480 million from the Millennium Challenge Corporation, MCC. Now, President Donald Trump in Department of Government Efficiency, run by Elon Musk, said that they close the Millennium Challenge Corporation, and also includes, all of the MCC employees told Reuters News Agency that the agency's work has been ordered halted apart from a small number of active construction projects, including a wastewater treatment plant in Mongolia, electrical power grids in Senegal and Nepal, and schools in Ivory Coast. We have lost here. We know they get the MCC money.
Sure. It's quite disappointing. This particular announcement we get for bump into media, but then I think when we look at generally and from Sierra Leonean perspective, we get for CC. We as Africa, we get a lot for loss from this particular move here by the American government, and we also get certain things that we don't already put in place, knowing that this particular money get for come and they get for fix into this XYZ for able for enhance development in Africa and Sierra Leone by extension. But you see that kind of move by the US government, I think then get reasons them there. According to some of the reasons them, they say because of corruption and some of those monies then they give them out, and the objectives and then they give them out for, they actually meet. There are a lot of challenges out there. I think now some of the reasons and they make we then withdraw them, support them there. But when you look at them generally, and you look at the impact of their monies and the way then they do now Africa, it's kind of a huge, and the timeliness, there was no like that kind of break, that kind of long warning for one African nations or the receivers of those donors for tell them all right, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. I think it will also bring an economic shock to struggling nations them like Sierra Leone. We actually depend on that kind of a money for their own government projects them and all of them things in there.
President Donald Trump administration say foreign aid not to a huge part of the objectives of the new administration, even though we see the US give billions of dollars for military assistance, whether it's military assistance or economic help to Israel. So now saying not to be objective, then it doesn't mean Sierra Leone is not a priority to America.
Well, US always, I think it was one former president of America. I say America need to do anything when not they in the interest of America. In other words, America need to support or give any side way America not get for gain. So the question is whether America is giving us. The question is what do we have to give to America? We go make that kind of relationship where America and Israel get, they exist with Sierra Leone. So for them, they holistically get for determine or evaluate within and they get from African nations or any country where they actually receive donor from them. And to me, to you, if you're giving, and you know that at the end of the day, this person has little or nothing to give you, when you want for take, you get nothing for absolutely lose. So I think that is what the American government is doing. Trump is more focused on addressing domestic issues and more focused on why America spend some of their monies than the outside world, and virtually some of them people, and they actually understand or they need to give that kind of appreciation to America. To them, at the end of the day, the money go land into the pocket of few leaders, them corruption, abuse, and all of that. The money they for achieve an objective. But generally, when you look at them again, and you look at the impact of the money, where make now Africa as a case study, I think it's huge, and it would have been prudent for the American government for put more measures in place for ensure say their monies and they are monitored, their surveillance, and then they use for their right objectives. Then virtually all of the nations in the way America they dispose their monies and to then get their embassies and they then get their representatives and they so they could have follow up some of those investment and some of them donors and they otherwise for virtually withdraw them knowing the impact or the kind of assistance with the money then they get to Africa and some other regions across the world.
Well, Edward, cutting foreign aid programs, suspending foreign aid programs or ending foreign aid programs actually go lead to America dwindling their influence on countries around the world. I mean, if you stop for fund Sierra Leone, stop for do trade as much as the Biden administration will do with Sierra Leone, the help will be the get from America to come to cut all of that now. I mean, the gap where America don't left, countries like India, countries like China go fill that gap.
Well, it's kind of when you look at the geopolitics of the world, Usai America they lack, that is where China will come in. Usai China they lack, I think that kind of play. But generally it's somehow difficult, like I say, it can lead to a kind of economic instability. Looking at Sierra Leone as a case study, we get that kind of fragile economy where anything can swing the economy into one direction or so. So getting that kind of shock, I think say go affect you in the long run, and even now hoping that Sierra Leone be the hope for receive that kind of money there, but everything don't come to a halt. It's very challenging and it's very difficult for us as a nation. But I think say we get other aids them. But generally any nation we want for go forget a fallback plan. If forget should this happen, should that happen, waiting on a fallback plan. I think say it's high time for African nations for think about the fallback plans them for ensure say should European nations or American nations and support them gets for be cut or shortened or limited or whatever, then get them fallback plans them they so that they go able for stand up and better build a better economy.
Okay, so just be the last year at the end of last year in December, I read now this very show an article from a US media network Fox News where say the MCC director, the head of the MCC, Alex Albright, we actually together with the Biden administration called for the saloon government for relax a bit the abortion policies. They say, according to Fox News, make we see the abortion bill in Parliament right now. I mean, the MCC gained some things. I mean, MCC was successful in Sierra Leone. I mean, they called for constitutional amendments, a lot of amendments in the constitution will be also lead to settling the disputes of the 2023 elections. Now the MCC won in that aspect. After all of the efforts made by Sierra Leone, you think say their saloon for receive something a bit?
Yeah, sure. I think say we don't do a lot. We don't do a lot because some of them monies and they come with certain clauses, certain parameters, certain things that we for look into. Looking at the repeal of the 1965 Public Order Act and some other adjustment again we don't make as demanding from some of the MCC scorecard. I think say we don't do a lot as a nation for clearly able for look into Sierra Leone and no say this then don't do ABC, even though there are certain areas the abortion bill that you spoke about very challenging for us as a nation for look into down there, irrespective of any demand or any support we get from outside. It can be very challenging. But other sectors and the way we don't make improvement. You see prison reforms and now human rights reforms them, and I think say now some of them clauses them we actually attach to some of them fundings then they. And Sierra Leone as a nation we don't make huge strides into them directions then they by ensuring that we not just receive them money then they, but we also do some structural and policy reforms in the country.
Okay, you still live with the Epic Morning Show on Epic Radio 99.3 FM, Slick TV on channel 37, Radio Garden, Choice FM on Facebook, and on your website at www.myepiconline.com. We're going on for very short break. We'll come back. We will introduce and calls them inside the program. You did with the Epic Morning Show.
The road now for you, so you for take 10 use
If you waka or they drive, you for always take care. When you follow the road signs, you go know waiting for do. If you be waka or they drive, make sure you understand the sign. When you the waka, safu safu. When you the drive, kele kele.
Sierra Leone Road Safety Authority and them partner them.
It's
busy
epic radio.
serious one, but
So
the one them
refreshing.
where they use the road, then safety. For sake of this, SLRSA they send this message to all man where they use the road. When you reach the traffic light, wait so till you tell reach for cross the road. The red light means say all driver for stop. The yellow light means say you for ready. Done the green light, now for go. When you reach the zebra crossing, outside traffic light day, you go see one image like a motorman light. The signal na the other end of the zebra crossing. Where the image like a motorman light signal red, means say you know for cross. You for wait sote that image like a motorman turn green. That time day now, you can cross na the zebra quick. Avoid shortcuts because shortcuts can cut you life short. Remember say, road safety business, now we all business. Together, we go save million people their life. Now the Ministry of Transport and Aviation, we join with the Sierra Leone Road Safety Authority, the Sierra Leone Police,
Epic Radio 99.3. It's so refreshing.
Transport business bring this message to you.
When you dey drive, kele kele for the watch.
Welcome back to your Epic Morning Show on Epic Radio 99.3 FM, Slick TV on Channel 37, Radio Garden, Choice FM on Facebook, and on your website at www.myepiconline.com. Today again, we give you the biggest international stories of the week. Free sending with BNB. With the BNB Cash App, sending and receiving money just got even better. Enjoy free sending to Guinea, Liberia, Senegal, Mali, and Ivory Coast. Download the BNB Cash App now on Google Play Store or the Apple App Store and start enjoying the rewards. Valid until the 30th of April 2025. Orange Money 1% cash out discounts for customers. Now you can cash out using Orange Money and get to pay a fee of just only 1%. This is the cheapest in Sierra Leone. Orange is here for you and me. 079-994-993. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Ivan.
Usman in the studios.
Usman, good morning. Concerned citizen, Cleveland.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, talking about this NCC money, we America Council. Listen to the ambassador to Sierra Leone, Brian Hunt. You know, it tell we say we still get chance from now to March next year, stand to be corrected, for put certain things in place. And one of the things that we mentioned about was that tripartite agreement, you know. So it left with the government for put things in place so that at least we're able to get that money. It's a huge 400 million. That's a huge, we go help with and this energy which we will suffer from. So because if we miss that thing, then we lost it all.
Okay.
Apart from that, away from that, within India and Pakistan, they are already prepared. Both sides waiting. No more Pakistan. They wait for. Say as India block that water supply because it was a 1960 peace agreement, water peace agreement. They say I think India block and so then they strike. You know. We head for Third World War. Yes, I guess me concern. Thank you.
079-994-993. Call and contribute inside the program today with a review the biggest international stories. Hello, good morning, Padauda.
Good morning, Epic Radio.
Good morning. Make a contribution.
Yes, we contributed. We'll not forget about this MCC money. This money, particularly the usage where they don't schedule for making this electricity in Sierra Leone. If we make any other measurement, you know, we miss the money. it will go a very long way for let this country develop. When they talk about investors and let them come, investors then, the real investors then, they're not going to country which I will get this kind of electricity problem, they miners and they want come, you come past you make your electrical plant, like Kusai would be get Soronko, Rutai, and for round that thing, it's not easy,
Okay.
So, if we don't get this money the way America be one, then join with the government for solve this electrical business once and for all. This country go before far away.
Okay.
But waiting then they put this money in Canwa on the implementation of this tripartite agreement. We know and do and nothing if they do. So they remain in this darkness for quite a long time. Where you go above this country. Thank you.
079-994-990. I mean, there should not be discussions about whether we receive them again. According to Elon Musk in Department of Government Efficiency, we not get to receive the MCC money again. So discussions about receiving it or not should end here now. The DOG, the Department of Government Efficiency, an organization formed by Donald Trump, headed by Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, where the cuts down government funding in America. It also be done close USAID. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. This is Abakar from Fomex.
Okay, go ahead, Bakar.
One thing we always do, really, we want to discuss outside things. But the thing that we do inside are so much that we're not able to discuss things outside. Say this MCC, where we don't win, and one of the things we don't celebrate to pull our shobi, we don't do everything for. And even the opposition, then they in line, they all go for like this money able for come. So now we still left now the implementation of the agreement. So now that we didn't know if the SLPP and this government, if they will get love for this country. Because now only the agreement now they will help with the ordinary citizen in the future. I tell you, my brother, the thing will happen 2023 if they not fix that problem. Believe what I tell you, the doom for Salon.
Okay.
You go hear them begin tonagi. Now that don't know what we want to let the right thing done. Thank you.
079-994-993. Join call and contribute inside the program today. We'll give you the biggest international stories of the week. The attacks in Kashmir, India and Pakistan's tensions. President Donald Trump called out President Putin for the very first time, at least in a rare move, called out President Putin, say for stop the attacks on the Ukrainian capital Kyiv. Which attacks in Ukraine's capital Kyiv don't kill tens of civilians and destroyed infrastructures in Kyiv. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. Your name on the side you call from?
Listen, Mr. Zachary, I call from Lungi.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Because I only want to pick up and I'm going to talk with the last caller concerned about the MCC money. Because what we in the last year, say Trump say that money they're not the sponsor again for Salvation. So I don't know if you don't go through or you don't go through. Me a customer long I want to know because see people that would deliberate for that money the issue. Like I say that people don't come through or not come through. Me I don't understand. That Trump in this set me they say don't put stop to that. See not go happen. So I don't know how far it is now. Thank you.
So the DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, formed by Donald Trump administration, say they cut all funding, at least they say funding for international funding, not to a priority of the government of Donald Trump, and say that they put on leave some employees, many employees of the MCC, Millennium Challenge Corporation, the agency where we don't fund the energy sector with $480 million. This is now your Epic Morning Show, 079-994-993. Hello, good morning, Johnny.
Yeah, good morning. How are you guys?
Very good.
Look, this forcing and fighting and this so much bluff about this MCC. You see, it is scaled down in activity with DOG because infrastructure business has been hit. That includes slab business in China. You know, the percentage where Donald Trump is also over with China. You know, I mean, Donald Trump is backing down. China, they're not taking no nonsense for man because they're not able to make any big stuff from China because China Look, now they got the biggest fleet force. Now they got the biggest naval fleet, air carrier fleet in the world. Biggest, where America not challenge themselves. Look the Boeing, whether they want for put for a winning 40, they don't cancel her. China said they're not interested. So now we know what they look about NPNCS. What the America will block with? The Democrats is in shambles. That's what they do. The man is a transactional president. All what they do so now is not correct. He's in legal battle with the judiciary, legal battle with the civil service, legal battle with Pentagon, all over the place. So what's the condition with the put? But no look inward, no look within the country and see what you're able to do. Go review with policies then for make we able to develop the economy.
Johnny.
America.
Thank you. So Donald Trump said this after Russia launched the largest attacks on the Ukrainian capital, Kiev, for the very first, the most worst attacks on Kiev since the year started. Donald Trump says, "I'm not happy with the Russian strikes on Kiev, not necessary and very bad timing. Vladimir, stop. 5,000 soldiers a week are dying. Let's get the peace deal done." 12 people were killed and 80 others injured in those attacks by Russia on the Ukrainian capital, Kiev. Now overnight attacks, the Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky said the last night's attacks was undoubtedly one of the most difficult and impotent. The Russian Ministry of Defense say the targets of the strikes on Kiev have been achieved. All of the facilities have been struck in the capital, Kiev. It comes as ceasefire negotiation talks still go on. President Donald Trump say he not go rule out Ukraine conceding some territories already occupied by Russia in the eastern part of the country. Analysts don't say the percentage of the percentage of Ukrainian land where Russia occupy in Ukraine, nearly 25% of Ukrainian land. Vladimir Putin don't rule out that they say all lands occupied by Russia will be part of Russia's territory. 079 994 993. Call and contribute inside the program today. We review the biggest international stories of the week. We also discuss the Kashmir attacks, the tension between Pakistan and India, and all other issues surrounding Africa. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Your name and where you call from?
It's Noah from TC.
Okay, go ahead, Noah.
Yes, thank you very much. Me want to look at lessons learned. The diplomatic hypocrisy of the Western communities for allowing African leaders for be self-reliant. We need to rely on real policy and homegrown strategies along with government. The culture of dependence will first stop. It's not a work. Nah, it's not reliable. So this only will just tell them, we just brace up for the future, follow the example of the leadership of Burkina Faso, and then we'll move on. Thank you very much.
079-994-993. Call and contribute inside the program today with a review the biggest international stories of the week. DOG, Department of Government Efficiency, run by Elon Musk, formed by President Trump, say that they suspend all programs currently run by the MCC. We lost a caller there. 079-994-993. Call and contribute inside the program. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman Alex.
Okay. Who's the call from?
I call from Stadium Hostel Self-Employment.
Okay, go ahead, Chairman.
I just want to go like to that caller who called this now. Africa leaders, we forbid African. Left for the under the white people where they blindfold, they take minerals and take use loan money. After they loan money, the money loan they put plus of the money where they give it. We for try for land from Kauri now one of the best African leaders right now. We all admire as a young boy for come they can idea for develop Africa. Right now, Burkina Faso don't give police their own gold. When Burkina Faso gold, for try for do now Africa, Africa strong than the Western world. Thank you, Sir Alex.
Thank you, Chairman. So let's just get again this article from Reuters news agency and say Elon Musk, Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, is ending the work of a U.S. aid agency launched by Republican former President George W. Bush to reduce poverty and promote economic growth around the world, according to a recording of a staff meeting and an email sent to staff seen by Reuters. The move to shut down the Millennium Challenge Corporation (MCC) comes as part of an unprecedented move by President Donald Trump and his billionaire advisor Elon Musk to shrink the federal funding, says the U.S. They also say that the U.S. taxpayers' money is being misspent. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Yeah, hello, good morning.
You name and where you call from?
Alaji, I call from Watalo.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and this issue of Donald Trump, you think, me honestly, Trump not going to look at peace now, and Russia, between Russia and Ukraine. Before he started on the wrong step, you come, you bash the Ukrainians, and they start the war, even before the issue proper. You not consult the one way that you go, not consult the Europeans, then you bash them, you left there, you go your own way, you praise Russia when the aggressor. So if you dey reward the aggressor against the one way they don't transgress in country, so from the first day, don't rush direction. I cannot see him getting through with this issue. Definitely, he will end up in the stalemate. They are not seeing no possibility to end this war. Number two, if he say that 5,000 people they die, so that they die on both sides, 275,000 people per year. That figure is not realistic. By now, the whole Ukraine go down now. We times that by three, 275,000 per year. A huge figure. That figure is grossly exaggerated. Let's say Trump now when they talk about the lie, then last thing. So that's one. Now we come on this. I think it's a long government.
Okay. All right. Obviously, thank you. The line very bad. 079994993. Call and contribute inside the program today. We review the biggest international stories of the week. The Kashmir attacks, tensions between India and Pakistan over the killing of tourists. We then go into Kashmir. The Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi said India will respond and that the gunmen were responsible for the attacks in Kashmir will be haunted. He said even at the end of the earth. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, my brother.
You know where inside the call from?
Citizen from Grafton.
Okay, go ahead.
My brother, I believe say Africa gets all what it takes. All the minerals, we get fish, we get everything. But let Africa stand as Africa. Yeah? Let Donald Trump go sit down. Not to then get for dictate to we, for tell we waiting for do and waiting not for do. This is not Africa. Africa.
Apologies there. 079994993. Call and contribute into the program today. We'll review the biggest international headlines. Hello, good morning, I'm Tak.
Yeah, good morning, my brother. Thank you very much for this program. My brother, they tell you one clear thing. What they cause them, that them fitaya, the humiliation and molestation. Now we leaders them. We not tend for be honest and serious. Africa generally, now not lead to them here. Because some people are look this about Traoré na Burkina Faso because I call about all the leaders the big passer. Believe me, brother, and me such a big pastor Traoré. If you don't about to get the police, they mind their way the back show. Though let it work because they go get for killer not too long. They go look Mungu feel it all. Where there's Sakara. As you kidnap Gaddafi there, where you are unite Africa, play Africa. Yeah, but you go left the legacy. Say in the book, you go there history records. So me the leader them are the blame Africa. You better wouldn't tell their people. So God will make them citizen, then they don't people do. Thank you, brother.
All right, thank you. 079994993. Call and contribute inside the program today with a review the biggest international headlines of the week. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
You know inside the call from?
I'm in Samuel.
Samuel, can you talk a little bit louder, please?
Samuel from Batos.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm regarding about the MCC. In the previous time, I listened to the tweet of the American embassy. They asked that Gapatai, the outcome that they did. So now the Gapatai is on it. So which are the outcome? And all along, they saw what when the Gapatai is off, they will get the money. Now, they don't do the Gapatai, the recommendation don't come out. So which are the outcome? It means the Gapatai is in a work or with you. You don't know, but I don't understand really that country. Then secondly, regarding about Russia, and one caller just talk one thing. If somebody go offend you, then at the end of the day, once you come back and say, "I am from don't back Russia." So how Russia will be this again for step down?
Okay.
So you say if somebody go do short thing like that, you don't offend you back then. After I come back and say, you don't go offend it.
All right, thank you. 079-994-993. Call and contribute inside the program today with a review the biggest international stories of the week: the attacks in Kashmir, tension between India and Pakistan, the Russia-Ukraine war, and the MCC 8 courts.
Hello.
Yeah, good morning, the Lion.
Yes, sir. You know, parler à la FRIDAY. You know, where you see me the watch news, you did not say salon na UDBN. But I'm here to watch South Africa. They donate, then they import the highest. Go to Nigeria. Nigeria na the build Nigeria and they supply oil na America. This other country, one na be about waiting. Then the build na they make gin for America. Countries and they where they go say, oh you come. Who that they can invest now? Who say can see keke 9 round the city? Who's invest over the Canada, not to poverty? They don't say they hungry boku. Who's country they where they go see keke na they to line na you city? Who's invest over the Canada? You know, Salono they Salono more. You want to know if America na the best for na the WhatsApp. Beyond the African continent, things and the way they do, we nothing. If they go between Ukraine and Russia, you know, it just like when I say bo community the community free zone. Okay, so okay, well, una the commander we okay, well, una there una you. Now them. Now brothers them. Yes, now brothers them. So if they say the community around, then the American not supposed to go under it too. Then that man they do appreciate they go under it too. That man they agree. They not agree. But thank you very much, bro.
Thank you, the Lion. 079-994-993. Call and contribute inside the program today with a review the biggest international stories. Hello, good morning. Hello. Okay, we lost that caller there. 079-994-993. Call and contribute inside the program today with a review the biggest international stories of the week: the attacks in Kashmir, the Russia-Ukraine war, and the MCC 8 courts. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Howdy morning.
Yeah, where did you call from?
I call from Leicester.
Okay, go ahead.
Me, not I like Donald Trump, but the only thing I know like the way he try for help Russia Putin, but this don't clearly show we say Russia not a super world power. If Russia is not super world power, why are they going hire mercenaries for go fight small country? This don't show we say even the Western powers they say hypocrite. But the only good thing is they get money past Africa.
Oh. All right.
Then secondly for Salone, the problem we get at this country, honestly, the politicians they not let people where they vote there inside. I don't find out say all the first people they try for fight for go parliament, go this, not for their own selfish end. Then secondly, the education within this country, the engineers and the this and that, they know they really tried well for we. They know they implement the education where they get.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'll allow you to turn back to you, Edward, as we wrap up the program. You respond to some of these concerns them from the callers.
Well, thank you very much. Of course, we don't get so many concerns about the MCC scorecard. Say, Luna, a donor-driven economy. I think, say, it's high time for the government actually able to put measures in place for able for react to some of these economic issues them. Of course, we don't see government they put procedures in place and ensuring that we use the MCC scorecard and go into energy sector and bring some reform. We go address light issues them and also other areas them as well. So the government for if actually because now a two-way street, maybe the American government can decide say all right they already pronounced MCC money then we go able for disburse them and we know they would disburse anyone again, or they can totally do away with everything. If either of the cases them we actually need for come back to the drawing board as a government, as a nation, and Africa as a whole, and the recipient of this donor money then they for able for stabilize the economies them and for able for look into direct investments that we can engage into as nations them should anything like down the apple no directly affect we economy and affect we day-to-day decisions them.
Okay, thank you so much for joining me inside the program today for review the biggest international stories of the week. He is Edward S. Kemore, being a public relations expert, student leader, and a political analyst. Thank you so much, Edward.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm Usman Ibrahim. Up next, we'll get sports, entertainment, business news, and a review of the biggest national stories of the week by Reginald Brian Ojukutu. So until next week, Friday again, with international affairs, we'll reach you. Usman Mara signing out.
Orange money go to good, don't come for you. Businessman and businesswoman, he don't come for you.
This time again, the delivery guy no dey give me all the money, and I dey lost track of all my payments them. How I suppose for run business like this?
Why you not register for Orange Money Kotoku?
Kotoku?
If you get small business na salon, this na your chance for make you upgrade am. Orange Money they introduce Kotoku na business line for all business them.
So refreshing.
Whether you na cookery seller, trader, barber, bike man or keke rider, this na una chance for receive payments directly to your Kotoku wallet from your customer them. And the best part na Orange Money go pay you commission for receive payments na your Kotoku wallet. Cash out for free na any Orange Money office, franchise or kiosk point. Kotoku wallet na your business in better one. For register for Kotoku wallet, dial #144*8*10#. I
say Orange Money Kotoku, don't come for you.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of Business News with me, Fatima Muhammad. Inside the edition of Business News, the global bond markets, when at the way with governments they borrow money, don't begin show signs say the world economy not too stable. Where the bond interest rates, where they call yield, go up, it means say investors them they worry say the economy no go fine or say inflation go increase. One sign where economics then they watch na the yield curve. Normal one go show say long-term borrowing cost pass short-term borrowing cost. But where the curve flip, short-term interest go pass the long-term interest. This na signal say recession they come. This don't happen for America and na warning for other countries than like Salon where already they face high borrowing costs. Salon wan build in own bond market so it no go depend on borrow from abroad. But for do that, government get for manage money fine, put laws them for investors we go able make them trust Salon, and also for make them able they transparent. As the world they face high borrowing costs, Salon need for watch the bond market signal them and make smart decision for the economy. Between April 14 to 17, 2025, the Bank of Salon report shows that the foreign exchange market's been stable. The US dollar no move much, but it be go up and it become down small, which shows say people still they observe and they no panic yet. The British pounds been they go up small steady every day and it almost reached 30 new loans. This means say either the UK economy they do well or Salon currency they lose value. The euro been dropped small midweek but bounced back by April 17. These movements don't show say wetin dey happen at the world economy and how dem dey affect we money value for business people, importers and also for governments. This na signal for monitor well because it go affect trade, reserves and also the planning of the economy. Food price for March 2025 shows say the oil dem like palm soy oil and sunflower oil don't go up big time. FAO say the vegetable oil index don't go up by 3.7% from February and 23.9% from last year. This na because Southeast Asia where they produce oil gets shortage. Soy oil price be cheap pass other oil dem, so many buyers dem dey rush for buy am. Beef price increase as Germany begin for export again. Beef and lamb price go up because demand high and supply short. Poultry price no change at all because supply and demand dey balance. Even with oil and meat price will go up, sugar and cereal price don't come down. So the overall food price still balance. But this na warning say food markets still dey fragile for salon. This mean food cost will continue to affect people dem and the markets dem. Ajay Banga, when a World Bank president say development not a charity, in say na way for build strong economy. In say after World War II, countries them start for invest, not to just for help, but now for create markets for businesses and for peace. Now, the World Bank want partner with private sectors them for reduce poverty and also for create job opportunities. The projects like Mission 300 go bring light to 300 million Africans by 2030. This kind of investment will help reduce migration, poverty and tension. Banga say capital no go just flow unless countries get good infrastructures and clear rules. The World Bank they help countries for fixed tax, land law and also for build strong foundations them. In say for every $1 we do not go put, then fit raise up to $10 for develop smart and for move global security. Well, now all this I get for now today inside business news. Until next time, Fatima Muhammad.
Alright, some big news happening in sports, and today na the last day, so we'll take them through and bring to you updates some of the latest happening in the world of sports. But first, let's dive into the locals updates. Well, the former Leon Stars head coach Amidou Karim don't be unveiled yesterday as the new head coach for Star Sports Academy. Amidou Karim will spend some few years with the national team, and of course, if don't be one time with FC Cologne, return back to Premier League football with Star Sports Academy. Well, sadly for Jamie Vardy, as he don't set for left Leicester City at the end of the current season after he don't spend up to 13 seasons with the club, and of course he win Premier League title with them in 2015, as to be corrected. So Aston Villa don't announce plan for take Villa Park capacity of over 50,000 by redeveloping the North Stand. The club will completely refurbish the North Stand, increase the number where available seats for about 5,000 to 12,000. Well, all the clubs they try for increase to their capacity before next season. Newcastle United manager Eddie Howe, 47 years of age, returned back to work on Thursday yesterday after the coach being hospitalized early with some diagnosis, but of course the coach the return back to action. It's good to see. Always for see one of the best coaches in the Premier League. So Edward Bello-Hila don't continue in walkout despite a shocking omission from the Sierra Leone under-20 squad. And even take this to in IG, as I say, focus on making yourself better. Stay busy with your goals. Don't waste time on people or things that holds you back. Your goals comes first. From Edward Bello Yila. The Salem Football Association, though, which for inform the general membership, stakeholders, and the general public, say previously postponed or aborted Congress will be initially for take place the 5th of April, will now go take place on the 26th, the eve of independence, now Catskill, Wilkinson Road. And finally, the Sierra Leone under-20 team don't depart for Egypt for the most prestigious under-20 AFCON, we go start this coming Sunday. Now, all listen now we get for you Inside Sports Update with me, Mohammed Sobikagbo.
Values your activity and wants to celebrate with you. Stay with us and enjoy 1x free bet, a weekly reward just for you. Sign up at 1xbet.sl with promo code 3SL to get a 200% welcome bonus up to 2,800 leones. Bet on the correct score from Tuesday to Monday and get a guaranteed free bet. Millions already winning. Join your friends and experience the thrill of victory. Values your activity and wants to celebrate with you. Stay with us and enjoy 1x free bet, a weekly reward just for you. Sign up at 1xbet.sl with promo code 3SL to get a 200% welcome bonus up to 2,800 leones. Bet on the correct score from Tuesday to Monday and get a guaranteed free bet. Millions already winning. Join your friends and experience the thrill of victory with 1x free
Epic Radio
bet.
99.3. It's so refreshing.
Orange Maxit, the super app will bring comfort and control now you on. With Orange Maxit, do all your transaction and fast and safe. Whether not for send money to family, party, or workmates, this transfer quick. You want recharge? Buy top up and data in just few seconds. Get daily, weekly, and monthly package them with just one tap. Stay in control with quick balance check and instantly manage your finances well. Whether now you top up, data, or transaction history you want, all day in one place. If you mistake, no worry. You fit reverse them instantly. Visit the marketplace now Maxit and buy the latest in them. Tickets to the biggest events
Epic
them, and
Radio
even play games on this
99.3.
day now
It's
you
so
want.
refreshing.
Do all your transaction them easy. Pay merchants, pay bills, transfer money from bank to wallets, and cash out all now one app with safe. Easy. Search Maxit now at Google Play and iOS App Store. Download, install, and then register with your number and password. Open Maxit and see how it is simplify your life. Download Maxit today and get comfort now your fingertips.
Orange.
I hope that our visitors would listen to the song carefully, because it's true. They're trying their best to stop our progress with bad propaganda. I mean the foreign press. But things are blown out proportion and spread all around. But the good things of the island they will never mention. Like our scholars have sit and passed every test. There's nothing about that in the foreign press. You know our music is rated amongst the best. There's nothing about that in the foreign press. But if a man steal a mango or breeze blow up a woman dress, bet your life we making headline in the foreign press. True, true. Lamba bombe ba, lamba doba, lamba de lamba da.
Possibly where you're not able to do bad. Possibly you're not able to do good, not doing bad. Hello, good morning, and welcome to the final EMS review segment right here on Epic Radio 99.3 FM. And we make it reach you. My name is Reginald Brian Ojukutu Soya. Well, today on Friday, the 25th day inside the month of April 2025. And remember, see you watch we live on Slick TV channel 37, and also we also do live on radio. Of course, that's 99.3 FM. And we also do live on the website www.myepiconline.com. This is now the final EMS review segment for the week, and we can look at the biggest local stories where they make the headlines inside we country, Sierra Leone. Well, for can help me discuss more of them topics here, so and review the various newspaper. Already get, of course, two gentlemen and one lady. And I start off first with, of course, Dr. Victor Moinina. Good morning and welcome to the final EMS review segment.
Good morning, Mr. Reginald, and good morning, Sierra Leone.
Yes, of course, it's a familiar voice now here. And all, Otin, we get 48 hours to be country independent. But good morning.
Good morning, Reginald, and good morning to the listeners down there.
So among we all now only minutes 9 days in the colors of the country. We already don't begin countdown. Good
yes,
morning,
yes.
Minat,
Good morning, Reggie. Good morning, listeners.
All right, so we start with a review of the various newspaper, and for that, they will just go for we very first pick we na Standard Times newspaper. We go be me first pick for this morning. Look at it in Standard Times newspaper. They say so Adonis Aboud must speak now. That's one of the headline from the Standard Times. And also we get controversies over Miss Pujem. And then we get another one which is Parliament summon major tax defaulting companies. All this and plenty more you will see in at the front page of the Standard Times newspaper publication.
So now we take the Independent Observer newspaper dated 25th April 2025. We get one where it says Sierra Leone at 64, imperfect but undeniable progress, and you they see the picture of the Minister of Information and Civic Education. Also we get who is Dr. Ibrahim Bangura in APC. Next to that, you will see the picture of Dr. Ibrahim Bangura, and we also get another story where say Omri Goling, the aspirant to unite APC, and the picture there as well near the writing. And also we get Professor Jallo nominated Sierra Leone ICJ representative, and also near the writing you will see the picture of Professor Jallo. All these you go find at the front page of the Independent newspaper.
Away from the Independent Observer newspaper, I get the Premier News newspaper. Top story: Sierra Leone nomination Professor Jallo as ACJ judge. And also on the front page we get Connaught Hospital to host blood drive honoring Desmond Lewis and voluntary donors. Choitam Hospital Health Ministry fight avoidable blindness through free cataract surgery. And finally, Sierra Leone at 64, imperfect but undeniable progress again. And then at the front page of the Premier News newspaper.
And we take the Awoko newspaper. You see outside they say Choitam Free Eye Camp, restoring sight, rebuilding lives across Sierra Leone. And also we get Minister Bangura urges unified African strategy among global economic volatility. Next to that, you get IFC and Sierra Leone strengthening ties to accelerate economic transformation. And finally, we get IMF warns global debt surge demands urge fiscal actions. All these and more you go find at the front page of the Awoko newspaper.
All right, thank you very much, Minat, for review the various newspaper headlines there with me. Well, if you just tune in, you listen to the Epic Morning Show review segment, and they look at the biggest local stories of the week. But we want to go for a quick public notice from Parliament, and after the public notice, I will introduce me topics them, and we go start the ball rolling.
Public Account Committee (PAC) public notice. Subject: Parliamentary summons to defaulting taxpayers on outstanding revenue arrears owed to the government of Sierra Leone. Pursuant to Section 8, Subsection 1 of the Finance Act 2022, which amends Section 106 of the Income Tax Act 2000, to wit, income that is due and payable shall be the debt owed to Sierra Leone and shall be payable to the Commissioner General. Additionally, Section 8, Subsection 2 provides that for the purpose of enforcing the payment of any liability under this Act, the Commissioner General shall, subsection A, publish the details of each defaulter and the corresponding debts in the Gazette or a registered media outlet. The Public Account Committee (PAC), in the exercise of its functions as provided pursuant to Order 70, subsection 6 of the Standing Orders of the Parliament of Sierra Leone, and in fulfillment of Regulation 73 of the Public Financial Management Regulations 2018, is in receipt of records of revenue arrears owed to the government of Sierra Leone. Accordingly, the Public Account Committee (PAC) of the Parliament of Sierra Leone, pursuant to Section 93, subsection 3 and 93, subsection 6 of the 1991 Constitution, Act Number 6 of 1991, and Order 70, subsection 6 of the Standing Orders of the Parliament of Sierra Leone, hereby summoned the underlisted companies together with the leadership of NMA to appear before the committee on Friday, 2nd May 2025 at 11 a.m. at the Conference Hall of the Administrative Building of Parliament, Tower Hill, Freetown, to address arrears owed to the National Mineral Agency (NMA) as at 31st December 2024. 4th January 2024, Dayu Mining Company Limited, 500,000 new loans. 17th January 2024, Sierra Minerals Holdings Limited, number 1, 500,000 new loans. 19th January 2024, Dojo Resources SL Limited, 31,128 new loans. 16th March 2024, Chengli Trading Mining Company Limited, 500,000 new loans. 16th May 2024, Sierra Diamonds Limited, 500,000 new loans. 7th July 2024, JM Mining Kenemal Sierra Leone Limited, 46,168 new loans. 11th July 2024, Tonguma Limited, 500,000 new loans. 18th July 2024, Doeftech Africa SL Limited, 99,180 new loans. 25th July 2024, Maya Mining, 500,000 new loans. 18th September 2024, Afro-Asia Mining Corporation Limited, 44,844 new loans. 24th September 2024, Kasila Mining and Engineering Services, 27,920 new loans. 28th September 2024, Yidasheng Mining Sierra Leone Company Limited, 98,160 new loans. 19th October 2024, Delcor Sierra Leone Limited, 96,520 new loans. 25th October 2024, Shonda Ore Trading Company, 86,870 new loans. 1st November 2024, Pan Africa Rare Metal Mining Company, 500,000 new loans. 18th November 2024, CTC Mining SL Limited, 500,000 new loans. 18th November 2024, CTC Mining SL Limited, 500,000 new loans. 15th November 2024, Zongfu Mining SL Co Limited, 38,490 new loans. 3rd November 2024, Sierra Sand Mining Investment Company Limited, 99,761 new loans. And 2nd December 2024, WGT Minerals Company Limited, 99,460 new loans.
Epic
This
Radio,
public notice is
99.3.
issued by
It's
the
so
Public
refreshing.
Accounts Committee, Parliament of Sierra Leone.
Hello and welcome back. If you just you listen to the EMS review segment, and now I'll just introduce me stories quickly. The biggest stories of the week. So according to Statistics Sierra Leone, the report we unveil, it shows the annual inflation rate don't drop to 10.71%. Well, in March 2025, we can look at we'll discuss the inflation versus the reality, whether waiting on paper, the out there. Now the market. And also Sierra Leone for celebrate 64th independence anniversary on Sunday. Well, the celebration initially starts today because there is a press release we received from State House yesterday announcing that prayers will be held today. Muslims then go on mosques, whilst Christians then go get national prayers for the country on Sunday. So the countdown is on. But one for look at waiting exactly they celebrate, or we for celebrate the 64th independence anniversary. That's a question we'll go ask. Another very interesting one, another story gets to deal with NRA, when the National Revenue Authority don't being closed at the office, and in violation of in violation of the tax, the way they're not being able for pay, and the money is a staggering amount, over 300 billion old loans and 300 million new loans, and also SLRSA we owe over 15 million new loans, which is about 15 billion old loans. So we'll look at that as well. And finally, Parliament's order for the order at Guma Valley for shut down all the various ministries where they know they pay the water rates them or water dues them. So these are some of the major stories that we'll go analyze this morning. But let's take the first one. We get to do with the report with Statistics Galleon poll earlier this week. We get to show say inflation on drop down to 10.71%. and all, and then put some yardstick. It is not a detailed report per se, it is just figures them we did it and all. We not get them yet for ascertain the methodology where they use, but if you look at the screen now, you will notice here we don't publish the reports, the press release where them put out we show say then show some yardsticks them, and but like again I say the parameter, the methodology where they use for arrive at that CPI when at the consumer price index showing that it dropped to from the side to 10.71. It's something that we need further of course explanation too. But doc, I'm not a mathematician, I'm not good with figures. I sure see yourself don't see reports. When you see that report, you know some of the things that you take into consideration.
Thank you very much. We can read reports on research done. Sometimes we got this discussion, not to ask us if we get for stop. There get 3 media houses
for this same discussion.
And I can ask the question, say, wait till me could not invite the people that we work in statistics. Because
we call them, but they're not being talked to. We call
okay. As a researcher myself, where you come up with methodology, you first of all ask almost quantitative, you use almost qualitative, you use quantitative, of course, actually quantity, numbers. Qualitative, you use words, use other expressions, and for backup, you explanation. But waiting Mickey always look at me, I know they look at paperwork. I look at reality. If you go buy rest now, what you be the buy rest last month and what you the buy rest now? Are the same or you don't change? But right now, 150 kilo rest. I buy 1 kilo last month. Normally it can take me 2-3 months.
50 kg, yes.
Yeah, that 50 kg.
Okay.
Yes. Normally it can take me 2 or 3 months because we know Bokuna house. Where I check this morning, the rest are almost done. And the consumption rate still remain the same. The number of people that really consume the rest still remain the same. So let's make the rest done. Is it that we get leakage just like how the economy self get leakage, or is it that something wrong? Because the measurements we will use, we're able to ascertain and clarify whether it happened. So sometimes when we look at these things, like how you say in your introduction, it's not about the paper, it's about the reality. We're talking about inflation rates reducing, but who are the benefits and who are the losses at the end of the day? You know, say when we talk about petroleum products, all over
according to them, it is down by 2.38%.
So that 2.38% is reflective on the people's their life. Because if you're not reflective on the people's life, then whose difference it make? And at the end of the day, wait till we all look out for when we talk about governance is development. We want to see changes in different areas. So for come up with such result, in final, we're gonna talk you the talk. But when you look at the reality, is it what is really transpiring? At the end of the day, people will tell you that it's not realistic because we don't see the impact. The same money we do is for pay for bike from last month. So it's a nice pay for bike.
And they also put even house the house rent and all drop down, and there is a figure on that one.
Now rent the rent for a use 90. So you landlord will not reduce it.
No, nothing.
So sometimes let us be practical. No, let us not just talk about.
Doc, I'll ask a question. Is a pattern now from government institutions playing with figures, giving percentage? The last time the asset declaration report being come out, and it's just figures. So percent of people are not comply. The one they are not comply. But in terms of getting the actual message or information we want to see, they will not be available on the report. And now we don't get this inflation report as we don't come out. And I see Yusuf Keke Thomas and when I the press secretary, they say they show in a I use the word, I think it's bioeconomy. Bioeconomy that saying that of course the president is doing well in reshaping the economy, and also Mike Biwa herself do the same posting and all. So I ask again, is it a pattern that confusing people with figures, knowing fully well that people are not they're not good at mathematics now, so not all marking able for go do calculation and try for check, and actually keeping the actual information where people want for know how they are able for understand and say, okay, this 10.71% now this you mean, but you will not get those information in the
I'll just take you back from your last statement to make. Please don't be fooled. Salomon is a bit maths past you.
Wow.
If you want to believe that day, you be cover one story, the last story we talk about the guy that with the cleaner monitor. Right? If you as regional, you pull 50,000, not all loans, so 50 million all loans, you give them say, okay, when I buy supplement, you could be surprised how they go work that mathematics day for you. So the reality where they actually happen, you know, when somebody is in a political office, what do you expect them for say? He just get for say something for appease the person with the paying salary. And at the end of the day, we not gonna forget anything. Look at the time where we be there under the APC regime, where I believe so we press secretary at the time, who is now the presidential advisor, or the person will be the
presidential spokesperson.
Presidential spokesperson,
Alpha Khan.
One of the things that we always talk. Salon are one of the fastest growing economies. They compare with to other countries. Then. Well, for go don't be fastest growing. Today we not good on it. So when you look at what these people will tell you, then they tell you what they want for you.
Okay.
But let's look at what transpires in reality. Me, I can always talk say you can talk say a paradigm shift. You go feel them. But why they feel the shift? Make her feel and make her know say something is going on. And they still earn me salary.
Okay.
But waiting that salary they do for me, not actually money. I can often say this to people then. Money not to that paper we own a know. Money not the value of waiting that paper they able for do for you. If you don't use for it 10 million rest, you been full. Then you go buy the same 10 million rest. This time around you find out say sometimes they don't use for give you half bowl. Where you go buy now, then
the value of that 10 million reduce.
Now content quantity seed for you don't eat. You know, so definitely the money where you don't use so it not go do for you.
Okay.
And then they even transpire in parenting. We will get picking them. Of course, if you get small one, we you give lunch every day. You find out say where you be give lunch 20 leons, 30 leons a day. If they get change. If they able for take transport, they come and all thing. But when you get 20 leons now, you know they even do for take half of what it be the do trade. So
Okay.
the value of all of these things again for reflects back on the price of things, and price of things go be affected if we not do a lot of things. There is no skyrocket on this thing. Salon will only develop if we decide for put into industrialization, most of which we talk about. We don't have factories for anything in this country. Even we solve the way we be the producer on that cold storage. Now we the ban from Guinea can. So what I will produce pass here just so, and then other will go by drink in the country, and not all might be for the income. So you find out our production is really declining, and therefore we can't get.
So the question I go ask you, Otin, how realistic is these figures where statistics are no give in present day Sierra Leone, and you know, I mean, Lolo just get a conversation on that as well.
When I watched, man also watch every day the press briefing.
Okay, we don't really report.
And when the minister openly give the report, I feel
Mr.
shocked
Shanjene
with the system, like not so Salona, somewhere else. No, he very disheartening way you look at him. Would they really try for laugh about him? Tell a friend of mine, says Sierra Leone slowly they become Nigeria, right? As bad as the economy be, people and they find way for sort themselves, make comedy, make satire out of the whole thing for just normal made and not boil into the frustration. There are a lot of things them. I remember so when the minister be asked and say waiting at some
now minister on
Siba
okay,
on
minister
Tuesday.
Okay.
When he said we look into the reason, the way how they reach that percentage.
Explain the methodology.
He said now be based on look into commodities, the major commodities like the fuel, the rest where they put down the cement. He said now get that impact, they will drop that percentage, which was for me I was like, okay, it's not bad. At least it don't defend that in any way. But honestly, I remember say that day they were left the press briefing. I decided to do a short vox pop and ask people and say what they think about the decline in the economy. Then somebody calls. Somebody calls. Say in the deflation, somebody calls. Calls me publicly.
Okay.
On camera. Like it calls and it was like who's
I understand.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Because in actual realities there's fuel go down but we still pay the same price for transportation.
And no reflect on it and the cost of transportation.
This is not the one thing I find very jittery. I tell somebody.
Okay.
Rest price they go down. Fuel price they go down, but the fare of them things then they know they go down. We still pay the same money they pay for transportation.
Yeah,
what's in worse is when they introduced the worker fine, because of the restriction and the redirection of the other transportation increased. And there was no effect. And everybody was like, people in Ghana go pay 10,000 for worker fine, regardless of the destination. Why can't people pay 7 lanes? And I remember I said the government take pressure and it dropped down to 5 lanes. But even at that, when fuel go down, we'd expect transportation for go down. But it didn't. They dropped the rest countdown for we, which was everybody was happy, come on from 9 to 7. Then ask the question, say how much do they buy? 110 BD, we rest done house and we'll not be get money for buy bag rest. I decided say I go buy cup rest, then they tell me say the pussy I wanna steal.
One cup jasmine, it's 10 million so a cup jasmine.
So what's in good on? This not something regional way would they play magic man. If the commodities them actually don't go down, may the things them down in the market reflect. So because now from them, may you to go tell say yes, the economy don't go down and everything
kind of stabilize.
Don't stabilize, but so, it isn't. It's like
so
they get one picture and the other one. It's I can laugh. I can say if extremely satiric.
Okay,
what's wrong?
Yes.
You get money on just me aside the Friday.
No, I just say.
I don't know now. I don't know.
So I'm just saying. So one of the key downward and mover them according to the report. Then they say housing, water, electricity, gas, and other. And other fuel, which weigh 8.9% declined by 5.81%.
Reginald, before you read that, done.
And also points from 11.45% in February 2025 to 5.84% in March 2025, year on year.
That then I shocked me past because recently I buy lights. Now the same 100 loans working back.
Yeah, we can't talk about it.
I don't get much. I don't get much things.
So it's been at the same amount, the same way
the same 20 units where they give me. So I don't know
only
how.
Loans they give 80 units.
Sometimes they give 80 units because of the monthly charge where they kick out and everything. But on a regular basis, you get 20 units on average.
Okay.
And the question popped in my mind says, so what do you reduce money?
And what about the cost of gas? African gas.
You say at the same price we still buy.
But they are saying it goes down by 5 points.
How much do they buy gas?
It's 230, 240.
That's small one.
Yes,
that's small. That big one are 480.
And it not go down.
It not go down. At the same price.
So that comes in the question. The data will say it all reduce, but we don't actually see them because when you go to the market, it doesn't reflect. So I can say now the satiric part than this. So I remember that folks, but that guy cost me. I feel bad, but at the same time I understand implied and who they come from.
We get other stories that we can look at shortly. One get for deal with ETSA, but quickly we own my own Precious George gets a report where a file together. Let's just see how we can able for look at Danny, and then we'll continue with the conversation. Please not touch it. I'll continue to send you message on Facebook and on the number 07999493. So the project manager for the Resilient Urban Salon project don't say the $56.7 million project from the World Bank where the Ministry for Finance they implement now one we go put more strength to urban management and improve access to basic services and infrastructure and self-boost disaster resilient na the western area and secondary city them na the country. Anthony Koma say this inside one flood risk investment option report review workshop where them be all on Wednesday the 23rd this year. Now the Freetown City Council building Wellens Johnson Street inside Freetown. Marion Precious George been the part of the workshop and will now report.
The Resilient Urban Salon project, funded by World Bank, came into existence as part of government for salon commitments to the medium-term national development plan of the country. We talk about building instructional capacity for disaster response and self-improve community resilience. This include different components them like community engagement, infrastructure upgrade, and environmental protection initiative them with the aim for address critical challenges where secondary and urban city them don't face, especially Freetown where it come to response to natural disaster them. The workshop where the Resilient Urban Salon project all with different council head them now for discuss proposed investment option them as way for address flood risk na secondary city them where include Lunge, Waterloo, Potloko and Makeni for Cluster 1 and Sefbo, Kenema, Bons and Koidu City for Cluster 2 of the project. Sassina, now the contract manager for the project, it talk about how important the workshop be.
Yeah. So what's this study all about? We're focused on getting recommendations that will be passed on to the stakeholders, the city stakeholders, so that they can be able to use these recommendations from the flood risk to enhance the way they are planning for their cities, whether structural or non-structural. So the recommendations are in line with the flood hazard and the flood risk assessments that have been undertaken, and we're also looking at flood mitigation measures that shall be integrated into foreseen and ongoing projects. So with projects going on in those cities, we expect that the outcome of this study will start influencing. So the flood mitigation measures that have been proposed will also be incorporated into ongoing projects.
Sassina go before for talk about waiting, then they expect from different council them we go benefit from this project at the end of the day.
We expect a lot more engagement at city level or sub-national and national level engagement to see how at the end of the day whatever we are planning for these cities, flood risk is taken into cognizance and the necessary actions are put in place. In Waterloo, the reports that came out informed us that there are issues with drainage clearing, solid waste management issues, the capacity of existing drains, some are not maintained. We need culverts and bridges. There should be some retrofitting, some resettlement issues also have to be considered. And we also need to enhance our green space, afforestation, reforestation, and all of that is part of the investment package for Waterloo.
Inside in talk, the Resilient Urban Salon Project Manager Anthony Kohoma talk about waiting they don't do as part of the project as way for address flood issue na the country and self-reduce the risk we involve.
This project they work with the council, Freetown City Council, Fort Loko, Makeni, Nikwedu, New Sembel, Bo, Kenema, Bond Municipality and Ward C. We also they work with the Ministry of Local Government, Ministry of Land, NDMA, the early warning system, because also they support under the disaster risk management with the support NDMA. This project nine help for set up NDMA, for make NDMA operationalized, furnish the offices, vehicles, equipment, everything, for get the NDMA moving. We also they work with the SLMet. Now SLMet they able to do real-time forecasting of weather because of equipment, weather stations. We also work with NWRMA. They do groundwater monitoring. They don't install from Aberdeen, Tego to Bonn underground water monitoring for see the water level, and also even the station Lunge Airport. Now this project support them so that they go able to do real-time forecasting and inform the people so that people will not go be taken unawares and reduce casualty and damage.
Anthony Kohoma also said the project now a $56.7 million project from the World Bank will include the flood risk assessment and management plan when are the reason for the workshop.
We know say country even when they say now one of the countries that were prone to flooding and disaster and that. So the focus is for address the issues there, right, and reduce the risk. Because you not go prevent, for instance, the rain from coming. But you go able to say this rain when they come, it will cause disaster now. You go able to warn the people there. You go able to warn government. Now what should they look at now the investment options. Every city, there are some side where you need for build a bridge. There are some side where you need for build huge culvert for control the water so that the water go reach the wetland.
The Resilient Urban Salon Project Manager Anthony Kohoma end up say the main reason we make them call on head of council them where then they work with now for make them see the recommendation them where the study where then do highlight and self-discuss on how for address them issue. For the Epic Morning Show, Marion Precious George.
Many thanks to Marion Precious George. We put the report together. We'll continue with the program. You still listen to the Epic Morning Show review segment, and we review the biggest local stories of the week. We go in with the country, but the last. But we'll talk about ETSA quickly. Well, yesterday we see a release from the National Revenue Authority, where we can call, NRA, where then get a statutory mandate for, collect tax on behalf of government. And also yesterday, NRA being close down the office premises of ETSA, and currently, if you look from the TV, they see the pictures where, with the display when, and go put and seal and shut down the office of ETSA. According to the NRA, now due to ETSA them where they don't fail for fulfilling tax obligation, and the release also shows the ETSA owe the NRA over 305,003 where now a staggering amount of money, and also SLRSA owe the NRA whooping sum of 15,336,611.76 So this now the two institutions. But ETSA is a big one. We don't see a response from the Ministry of Energy. We will look at that shortly. But let's start with quickly, Dr. Victor Moinina. This, I'm sure you say you don't see. In fact, it's all over the news. People are almost they make fun out of that on the office premises of ETSA don't be closed by NRA. We according to the statutory mandate for ensure say government institutions and other institutions then comply with the tax obligation. Is this unfortunate? And that is over 300 billion loans, old loans, which is a huge amount of money, and according to the NRA, because EDSA refused to pay them dues, and that make them seal the office we look as at this moment.
Well, I join for
where the country is celebrating, but they almost saying 3 days.
I join for my story, I join rest. I join no more for it and back. So end of the day, Alala no go for Komayanda. But wait me no more na that. If fine for the public institutions, then keep up to the what to say.
For serve as an example.
Yeah, but then quite recently, I noticed every month, at least 2 term or 3 term, NRA they ask for tax returns from people them. Like I miss I get a private company. Like normally where you do work for institution, not to even you then they pay the tax to.
Okay.
The institution will give you the job, they actually deduct the tax, and where they don't pay you done, they're supposed to send out to the other institution. But if me don't receive my payments done, the NRA begins to say I can't make what to say. And they begin ask the questions, say who side that money where they deduct school? And sometimes they know they even give the institutions, because some people then they do like if Epic Credit decide for take me as a consultant, they will work with me directly. After we then done, that 15%, we try to be 5.5%. Then they deduct them from the money.
Okay.
Then talk to them suppose for pay them to NRA. So I don't believe saying that even me need for go back again for do that, because the job has been signed. We don't get all the agreements and everything. And I believe say one way then they use for track them, you know, say all payments way then they do, then they pay them through bank. No institution they give you payment over.
And when you go pay for you electricity charges, you see where they cut
exactly.
NRA,
so all of these things are shown.
So the problem now, outside the money they go where then they cut.
Well, I believe say, you know, quite frankly, the issues of EDSA need for come out plain and talk to people then. There is a national conversation we get for go on very soon. They talk about this recent bonus they happen at the country. Who are responsible for that day? Is it that we don't get faulty arrangements and from the word go? Will they install new transformers?
Or substandard?
No, will they install new transformers in that area? But the cable where they bring the light can the transformer, the cable old. So what if the cable not able for carry?
So now all cable per need transformer.
So, well, you not say I'm them.
Yeah.
In various areas, then they can install very new transformer.
Okay.
Digital transformer now, not like that first way you go the omin and all the things. Then can digital ones them. But the cable where they come up from the powerhouse for bring the power canal the UTSF now old cable.
Okay.
And old cable not go for carry that kind pressure for you.
Is this a lapses on the side of NRA for which the money accumulates to 338 million, which is 338 billion loans? Then therefore wait till the money go down before they take action.
Before me waiting me don't observe from NRA before that money accumulates, so then we don't send letters.
How about enforcing the law at that time before?
Well, not so they can't share out there for the enforcement because some of these institutions they will not listen. Then get the way when they do and they go say, okay, this we will lock our one. You know what are the wait for? They tell you that we will lock airports. Say something airports not pay tax. So that's and now go say a very interesting case because these are all very prominent institutions and they are running very well in the country. And people pay taxes, by the way. Where before you left this country, that airport tax you pay.
Yeah.
Where you come back now the country before you enter inside, that airport tax you pay.
$25. Yeah.
And sometimes they, even if you are not informed, they go wait far where you don't get all you don't get share. I say so.
In fact, you come on and do say.
Now from inside
the airport,
they are resulting. So if our institutions are gathering all this money, let we know where money they actually go because. To be honest with you, for pay tax, not to where anybody like
So the Ministry of Energy, I can't to out now. The Ministry of Energy don't pull a press release. The second, let me take the third or fourth paragraph of them. It says the ministry view the enforcement action as disruptive to ongoing service delivery, and also then put it counterproductive to the national effort to stabilize the energy sector at a time when Sierra Leone is facing acute electricity supply challenges Such measure should further undermine the collective goal of ensuring reliable and affordable power for citizens and business. So that is that. I just take that part of the press release where then put out and all. But let's start first from the move from NRA. Do you think it's a timely one for go and seal the office? The entire building is closed now at this moment, and EDSA they say the move not timely. This will undermine the service. Then an essential service provider in the country. They want to provide energy, and at the period where energy not stabilized, NRA also the help for undermine their work and also. How do you view this, all of this? And the president is the Minister of Energy, and this press release is coming from his ministry as well.
So for starts with Reginald, when you look into EDSA as an institution, firstly, you get to ask this question, say, how? Because for any time we buy light, be it Orange Money, Afri Money, or go there directly, you see that they cut the monthly tax. Huge one.
Yeah.
So here comes in the question is, and EDSA to be precise, they offer a prepaid service, not a postpaid service, meaning you pay forget the
service. Yeah.
Exactly. So here comes in the question is, so who say all their money then they go? Me, interestingly, before we begin talk about NIA in your own parts, because the NSSF as an institution, me I no one say na lapses because over the years
we
they
money
ask
don't
the
accumulate to
question,
such
say, where the money self reach first 1 million all loans, why make they not call them people have to book?
300 and something billion.
They ever wait for me reach 300 and something billion loans. Me not even understand something. They want me come up before they go collect them.
Naluto.
So, exactly, something like that. They wait for. But to be very, very honest, because here comes in the question is I don't know for SLRSA because I not do much of what
SLRA as well.
About
tax
15 billion.
Yeah, 15 billion.
Plus. So here comes in the question.
15 billion, 336 million.
Whenever you
611.
Here comes in the question, Reginald. Yeah. Whenever you go do your registration, like EDSA, they cut then tax then they from your license where you go pay for your car vehicle registration. And
from SLRSA.
So here comes in the question is, who say their money didn't go? Because if my mind can serve me right, I remember when they set up the consolidated fund, they be tell we say every single government tax where they be cut from every other government institution, agency. For go directly in that fund.
Is that system working?
Well, now the question and the way
because that get the same problem now with
the question is
where
that system is it working? Is that system like it just happened for the first 5 years and it died out, or the first 3 years? Because the first 3 years will be the area, and before the first 2 years of the first term they done, the consolidated fund conversation just died out in total. Because the money then they be say they gonna then consolidated fund from they redirected to the agency we're supposed to forget, waiting is supposed to forget. So here comes in the question, what happened? Is it that that system they don't broke? So then thing that they play, then thing that they play in my mind, Boku. When that I tell you, like, to be very honest, I tell you, Regina, off here, and I'll say this on air. Like yesterday, I wake with in a very stressful mood. Then when I open my Facebook and I see EDSA and SLRA, I know it will be a laugh. I laugh because
when the question now this morning, lights not there.
Because honestly,
they say they don't post them. Say the office is closed. So.
No, it's not. Before that, you ask the question. Say people be the bad like, and there was the thing. I remember there was one surge where people and grumble, but I remember when the EDSA introduced the new tax. A lot of people and grumble about it, and they defend themselves. They say how they get for pay NRA, government, staff, salary, this, that, and that. So here comes in the question is, if una don't they cut down from with the Sierra Leonean people and don't accept them, so why now with the hearing now from NRA say una not ever pay them? So is it that we the fight for do one thing like dig all cover all and money back we still get kappa we still get kappa.
In fact, it's part of the head side and say they get debts away they don't pay. In fact, that is one of the reasons. Respond as one of the reasons we make up till now they're not able to meet up to the obligation.
So this nine baffle me. I just look and say, can the average Solomon go say now, would that be the lighter in company?
Now it's the lighter with the people they be.
Exactly.
It's very simple.
Very straightforward, because here comes in the question is you cut tax and you not pay unto NRA. So who side the money go? What will not do with them?
That's a very, very big one. And also, we get one thing we can discuss very, very shortly. Mohamed Kamaimba, we have been a presidential flag bearer or a presidential nominee for ADP, also been posted on his Facebook page. And that's what he said. He said Julius Marabi, who also happens to be the Minister of Energy, as he supervised EDSA, refused to pay taxes to NRA. What a shame, as NRA sealed EDSA office for lack of tax payment. What the functional governance system in Sierra Leone, Marabio, na man plus, and then he put a laugh emoji that is coming for. But again, how do you come out of this? This has been the problem. We've seen compliance issue, particularly when it comes to tax, private institutions, and they pay. But when it comes to government institutions, the money is not coming from them directly, but they are refusing to pay. How do you come out of this, Doc? Before maybe we'll take calls then.
The whole idea, bossman, make an lie by for pay tax noisy.
But the people any pay?
No,
correct?
for pay tax noisy. Make I just go a little bit into examples.
All right.
Look at them from even the developed world. You know, say most of the film stars there, wait till they make them, they become very broke. Now because when they career one done, whether they be here accumulate almost and get for paying taxes. Look like Wesley Snipes. One major example. For years, you know, they pay tax. When career one done, when the US government put he pay all the tax. So you find out, say, for pay tax, you know, actually easy. Now the problem with EDSA, the accountability process now really and truly not transparent.
Okay.
There's a lot of things where they go underground.
SLISSF get the same problem.
Yeah. Look at World Bank give money for change the whole meter system in the country. Waiting and do, then decide first for conceal the information. Then after that, when the information come out to the public, then say they don't use $5 million from $13 million for procure meter then.
From postpaid to prepaid.
Yes. Yeah. And even some of the transformers them, now World Bank give them, where the thing on, you know what they do? Then take the transformer and then go left and our Lebanese shop. Then wait time reach, then they make inquest, receive money, go take the same transformer where they go left at the Lebanese shop. So you find out, say, when you talk about the systemic corruption, and not just there within we own small institutions. These big institutions, then they do more.
Okay.
I will tell you these things because some of us, we get privileged conversation with these people in government. Then they tell you these things that sometimes we they blame institutions them, but we the ordinary Sierra Leoneans there, we mindset it's too bad.
All right.
How you go get just like the example I start with, you get new transformer, but you get old cable. Meanwhile, if you get particular areas where they get problem, if you see that minister or that director call, then they can't change the one old lighting system. So you, the ordinary people, not get that access there, but possibly we get influence, able forget the access.
All right.
We also get a huge influx of special line there, where they all over the place.
Yeah.
The one other no get lights, but that person they get lights. And then go tell you a priority. EDSA full time table. They not ever honor the timetable. They not ever honor that timetable day. It just tell like Salon Premier League where we don't even know what they happen, but right now. But now you spot.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Salon at 64. I want to know a short so I hope in the folder. I don't make it into me call at the time. Salon at 64. Celebration starts today. First question, Otin, are you going to celebrate the independence? Is there something to celebrate?
Well, I think,
short one, please.
I think they don't starve me of lantern, so I not got option. But honestly, Salon at 64, it's a number for me.
It's just a number.
Now age.
What about the legacy? Is there an invisible legacy?
A number for me, Reginald. From we Salon 50 as well, big encounter as number
up to now
to date. Because
at 64 years, you expect that woman now for me can get grandpicking.
The question
who's begin?
Grandpicking.
So just
that's great. Now they expect
now. So honestly, because here is the thing: when Salon 50 years, I remember I said I just go university back then.
2011.
Yeah. No, not the university. 2011, I was in secondary school.
No, 2011, maybe the university.
Maybe the transition.
I remember that time we were going to use 50 million for.
I not even
for go make Cambo. There's Starlight.
Yeah, like I said, I'll be the last 10, and by then I'll be the transition from high school into university.
Right.
And there was this question I asked: they make Boku celebration, they do Boku activities them where for the world it'd be nice. Like I say for the world, not for Sierra Leone.
Alright,
For the world it'd be extremely nice. But at the end of the day, we come back to normality. From that end and then ask for
Doc, you don't feel it, you feel the same last. For me, I don't work as it. I don't see the paint. They're not even the painting seats now.
This year we tire.
And all Salon at 64. Is there any tangible reason to celebrate this independence from you personally?
No, that's not even allowed to celebrate. We are blackouts first. The money we.
We're going to independence with blackout.
You get lights and you right out. And mind you, I don't know what to say for the past 2 years. April always filled with activities. Look like this April.
We get Easter, Good Friday.
Get Good Friday. No, before we get the Easter and Good Friday, you know, so we start first with the Ramadan.
Yeah, the
end of March.
From it up April.
Then after that, now we begin a long weekend for the Easter. Then now we can get a second long weekend. Then after the long weekend, remember I said the 30th with the eve for Labor Day.
Yeah.
So meaning at the first
Thursday.
so we get too many holidays, but where the resources for celebrate the holidays? That's one. The second thing, we're talking about independence. I'll be listening on our first half of the program.
Okay.
When people they talk about the 480 million, we
of course, MCC, yes, MCC, they'll shut
waiting like the mean to the country.
All right.
You know, sometimes some of these discussions are very interesting.
Yeah.
But if at 64 we still beg 480 million for can solve the electricity problem, then what is
well, that's a call. They come back soon shortly. Please call us. You get 1 minute 30 seconds. Make contribution. Hello. Yes.
How did you call from Black?
Okay, Padauda, go ahead.
Yeah. Fellow, like when they laugh no more, it's funny. Thing we for cry with, but it's so funny that we're not able to cry, now laugh who they laugh. You know, this extra business where NRA do, accuse from heavy money where they get for pay. We don't now not get for pay in this country. We get huge amount for pay to the power chief. You know, the extra way they collect this money, you get that kind of money for pay. Everywhere. But the clarity of the pay is, this corruption, the kind of corruption within this country, this particular time, it passed mass, it overpassed mass. But when you talk, people they say, they will colonial ambassador, then you don't keep with diamond there, then you don't keep all with me. From 64 years where they do with this country. Even if there people then we will not able, for gather all that money they out of there with mineral there. 2 years here go in, here go out with the year. Say diamond pound to stone, then don't take the heaviest diamond. By the time you say Jack Robinson, they say don't turn to diamond. Somebody thank you very much. The American then sit down. 480 million, that's before don't stop this life problem. Let America they sit down. America they not let down they sit down. They sit down, they sit down, they comfortable so with what they happen and they praise Chinese against America.
Thank you so much, Padauda. Please, I want to forget opportunity to other people. 079994993, the phone line open. Keep on 90 seconds. Hello. Yes.
Of Kiyama Road.
Okay, go ahead and make a contribution.
Yeah. This independence. There's nothing for the celebrate. Even the last independence, what do you for celebrate? The light problem, number one, now blackout is the key problem. Number two, water system is poor. Number three, road network is poor. Look inside the city, but address control themselves, no problem. People they pay them tax money them. Road authority, what do they do? Nothing. What do you for celebrate?
All right.
What do you celebrate?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, we take more calls 079994993. You they listen to the EMS review segment, and we don't look at various issues. We make the biggest story this week. Hello. Yes.
I call from Ibrahim.
Go ahead, Ibrahim from Losak.
This country from the time from 61 to now. This time, no amount of propaganda, not the police government of power. No, wait my energy. Now then, a station where one I put it there.
Very sad.
There is that one.
I'm telling you. But I mean that's not the views of the the views of the callers, and also we believe say we do the right thing, and we believe say we always don't stand for the right thing, and we will continue for do the right thing. So devoid of waiting person think or form opinion about we definitely not care. We just focus and we commit ourselves for do the right thing. Low pick more calls. Hello.
Good morning, Mr. Panelist.
Yes.
Father Lambert.
Yes.
We check from 1961 to 2025. That was 64 years. What thing Salomon don't do for Salomon? What did the big one that don't do for the youth there? 64 years, really, my American 64 years. And picking them, they go out of field, Truth, Gamadol, and Kush. 64 years, with the American 64 years. No road, we not better road. 64 years, with the Mami they can do. The youth and the crowd is angry. Blackouts, Boku. They've got a lot of things to happen now. Where happen now, this place, Becky Junction. Through this electricity business, fire cage now one shop, about 3 houses, the eastern.
Okay.
Now Becky Junction, through ETSA issue. Let's see, go with ETSA, 64 years, with the Mami 64 years. Upon blackout.
Thank you, Father Lambert.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Father Lambert. We'll take more calls. 079994993. Please read the call and ensure say you limit until the things that we don't discuss so far in the program. Hello. 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 Hello.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I lost that call already. Maybe you can call me back. 079994993. We'll take another caller. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. I get you loud and clear. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, I get you. Go ahead.
Oh, I may get you.
Go ahead. I get you.
Okay, good morning, good morning. It's a problem, Papa. It's too much. It's too much. Me na woman. Me was born, Daddy. I go for meter January. Me was born January 24. I go for meter. One Mr. Jallo, which you not for calling him, I go meet him for meter everything. I spend money to pass I buy, I say let they replace me meter. Pass I buy back. I pay 3 million for meter. 3 million, Papa. So I don't know what they go on a salon. Emona. Anyway, see that man talking, they blow mind. They no. Now blow mind, they blow mind. Salon just they go bien. Thank you very much, sir. God bless you. All
right, thank you very much, mommy. We'll take more calls. 07999949993. Of course, we'll take more views from the public. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Yes.
Hello.
I get you. Go ahead. Hello.
I mean, for far too long, the political class don't deceive.
Wait, my name.
Me na concerned citizen.
Okay, concerned citizen. Go ahead.
Far too long, the political class don't face you. Equally so with the citizens, we don't contribute in that factor because we don't depend too much on the political class.
Okay.
Well, as soon as the journalists don't take sides, most times they listen on programs.
Can you say some journalists, please?
So,
can you say some journalists?
Pray God for a better leadership and a better civilian. The thing is, now all take collective responsibility for team and as we own country. Don't forget about color, don't forget about tribe, don't forget about region.
Thank you.
That's my main contribution.
Thank you very much. Before I appreciate if you say some, in every aspect. I mean, not all married in a salon are bad man. You get people living are good people as well. It is just that the majority of people maybe the majority will be bad, but you get some people living are good people. So I will appreciate next time if you say some people or some journalists. Hello.
Hello, I am Sai.
Yes, sir, Mr. Sai.
Yeah, this consolidated fund we talk about just now. The departments there, man.
You mean ETSA owing NIA? ETSA owing NIA, I mean?
No, yeah, no, what I mean is the money, no, they go, they know they pull the money, they collect, no, they go to the consolidated fund.
Yes, go ahead.
They go to their own separate accounts. Now from there now, then for prepare check, they pay them when they cut off behalf of NRA and pay to NRA.
Yes, sir.
The money they always stay at the account. This is a matter of people, and that's one panelist bad accounting because we do bank reconciliation. Then when they always the cut like a PAYU. That 5% tax rate, doctor, we talk about just now. You account for it now, you ledger. Then you prepare check, you pay. Money and then I dey back in the pool now, then give them back as PL money where they give them for the buy PL for the machine where they say they use. But doc, may I talk to doc? We say if once you get a TIN number, it's supposed to file the tax return so because as long as the people when I wait country they get tax rebates. If you don't file tax returns, I don't still get tax rebates. I don't see where you see they ask you for pay for make tax returns. I don't say you know possible they get contact them. Supposed to pay taxes. Thank you.
Thank you. 079994993. That's the number where you go call and be part of the program. We'll take few more calls, maybe 4 more. Hello. Yes, come on here, radio. Come on here, radio.
Mina Bakar from Philly.
Go ahead, Bakar.
Okay. Really, we tell you na thank you. Honor the journalists here. It's high time for Lona take this kind of blame. Because all waiting we think of na salon. If you think of mortal man waiting and they talk about politics, this na salon. Now the one green country the show get. 64 years, before 64 years, people let me they move from here for go upline and they take 3 days. The past government able for clear them. Or they go today, we can't today. Before 64 years, they make provision for them tank they let them in at the different side, they all at them different parts there. Le Guma go they give water and then side and they know they do and they left the responsibility. Before 64 years, we they get lights where it be say where it be manageable. Emma can tell we say if in a light we eat. It tell you all on a road.
But you not thinking I mean cosmetic projects and I mean cosmetic.
They can tell you about cosmetic, only cosmetic before 64 years. Now they don't they different money than they come. Look the Light project, it's money project. When they talk about month sliding other things then.
Okay.
They need to do something outside and they see them. Watch the outside people and they were them good pan broke, them good pan broke.
Thank you very much.
Where people they don't suffer them broke. Thank you.
Thank you. 2 more calls now. Go take and wrap up. 1 minute each. 079994993. I'll just take 2 calls more, and then we try for draw the cutting down of the program. 2 more. I'll take this one, and then I will take the last one after this. Hello.
Good morning.
Yes.
Good morning.
Morning. Go ahead. Your name outside calling from. Hello, morning. Hello.
Even from Lungi.
Go ahead.
Yes, I want to thank you very much about this press release when they talk about celebration. I look at and say, now commemoration that's still for commemorate. I also love celebrate too. So I don't know. Thank you.
Thank you. That's it. One more call.
What's my English? That's what's all.
I tell you. Hello. Yes, you name outside calling from. You name outside calling from. Hello?
Yeah.
Please stop. We have the line very, very difficult to get. When you call, just state your name and go ahead. Let's take this one person quickly.
When I get patients on this station.
Hello.
Epic Radio, Mina Mohammed from Shell.
Okay, Mohammed.
Yeah. Well, under this regime, they don't try because new airport don't see plane the flying.
I lost that call. Let's take one bonus call. 079994993. Just one more. And then I will try for wrap up. Hello. Yeah.
I'm so lucky. Pamusa did that.
Oh, Pamusa was that. Go ahead, Pamusa.
Yes. And I want to talk about Waka Fine. Waka Fine are the only motorcade where they come in this country before they put on down. Today I did this word there. Waka Fine they not come for help Sierra Leoneans. Look who brother put yesterday I go Eastern. From Upcon to Chester go, I pay 5 million. For return back, I pay 5 million. If in our Waka Fine I 10 million. I want to ask the Minister of Transport, why make Waka Fine their answer to 10 million? Then the other must carry, then make a 5 million, 7 million, 8 million. Now this is our law they do. Pen them allow call the Minister of Transport law ask this question here. This not you can pay me. Even one time I want to go Eastern. I forget say money term dining road there no other much cannot they pass Waka Fine. I smap here for a long time. Pass what they tell me say pass I can old road. I say when actually I don't suffer. Really. So Waka Fine very long time down. Then still stand by the 10 leons. Suffer people now this country. Why?
Okay.
Why?
Thank you,
now would that mean make that agreement day? People they make agreement at this country, then feel say they don't get for left this country. to transport? Why make
Thank you, Bamusa.
transport to 10,000? Then the one about car and they make 5 million.
Okay.
That is our law, sir.
Thank you very much. We will try. I mean, the issues are many, but we'll try. We will try. Okay, guys, I know we won't take any more calls again. I don't go overboard the time and all. I don't know if I will start with Doc. I'll start with Otin quickly. Or from the callers. In summary, one for wrap up now. Wait, you want for left foot three?
Well, I want to tell everybody. I can always say, now look current situation and limit yourself to everything that happens. Try for push extra mile so that you go make ends meet, because the only way you push yourself to the extra mile. And the concerns them boku. Like for say if they talk about all the issue or talk about waiting, like that guy say waiting for commemorate for the 64 years.
He said no commemorate, so don't say no celebrate.
That was not observe.
Yes, now observe.
But in the observation period, if you rarely observe, you go end up get chest pain or heart attack.
So you agree with the president that we need prayers? We need
well, there's a logo mocks.
So small that we pray for this country.
So seriously, but put extra effort in everything what you do for ends meet. And no way possible and bring alala to you. If you peace of mind important to you, just ignore it.
We are tired peace of mind. All right, Doc, we wrap up now.
Well, my own word of concern are that as Sierra Leoneans we observe and we watch what's in the happen.
You agree with that guy with the commemorate?
Yeah, no, not to the commemoration first. Okay. Now these consolidated funds activities, we need for know what's in the happen. Like other person say, yes, I don't get my own job step, and definitely I file my tax returns and all of that. But some institutions then they not good one. Okay. And end of the day, we are being deducted, but where are we going to? As Sierra Leoneans, let we reflect more on what we want the country for be. 64 years not a small age, a very big age.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Victor Moinina, and also thanks to Francis D.W. Houghton, a journalist as well, for joining me in the program this morning for me we review the biggest local stories of the week. Well, many thanks to DJ Buju, we give you technical support. So, my man and Aslik control when we can watch live on TV. To Emmanuel and CD for Teluna Boku thank you. And also to Abubakar Bendu we can watch live on Facebook. The producers of the show are 721 capacity and Regina Guanujukutu Soya and also Fatma Talebi, and also present the review segment. Many thanks to the entire team of the Epic Morning Show, my executive producer Teresa Thomas. Till Monday we will come back for a look at the salon at 64 and all, and we'll get another interesting conversation. Keep it Epic Radio. Have a wonderful weekend and happy 64 independence anniversary in advance. Till Monday, bye bye.